way to make that work.
You, Alex, so.
Okay.
Oh, that way, yeah. It should pick up on both of you.
Yeah.
Well, it's both of us, yeah.
You don't have to get right into it.
That's what my dog does.
I want you to be picked up on the audio, not make out with it.
We can make out on the audio if you want.
I mean, I guess that'll get views.
You think so?
It might get views.
So it is June.
Yeah.
June. You want to make out?
Yeah.
I think it's June.
We gotta get some of those fucking Burger King buns.
Ooh.
Oh, the two bottom burgers.
Oh my God,
They did not talk to anyone about that.
Well, you saw the Postmates ad, right?
No.
Oh Jesus!
You want to get into that?
Wait, but you did see that Burger King has
With
the
two
top-
bottoms.
two tops and two bottoms.
Yep.
First of all, like, I mean,
Yeah.
It can be two men and two women, but it can't be two tops and two bottoms.
yeah,
Two people can't bottom at the same time.
What does that mean? Like, is this two people like bend over and like push their
like
asses
bonobos.
together?
Yeah, like maybe he'll do that.
Bonobos do that.
They mash asses?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the bonobo monkeys. They're like
Maybe
the chimpanzee offshoot.
Maybe ass
Yes.
mashing?
Yes,
Well,
they do.
that's
They
what
do
they're
everything.
doing it. The people are doing it.
Well, no, I mean, I know the bonobos, they get up to all sorts of
No,
stuff.
yeah, they
but
do that.
What good does it
I don't know, man. Bonobos just love touching each other. I don't know what to tell you.
The moms don't fuck the sons, right?
I think they all fuck all.
No.
They all fuck all.
I heard there's one rule in bonobo sex, and I think the moms.
This is
don't-
not Fight Club, Alex.
No.
Don't talk about Bonobo Sex Club.
No, I heard that they have one moral standard in the bonobo community.
Okay.
And it's that
The
the
bonobo
moms,
community.
The moms don't fuck the sons. The rest of the family fucks. Like,
But how do they know that?
you don't think they know the moms know who their kids are?
Nah, not after
Based
like 6
on
months.
scent, though?
Not after 6 months.
I don't know.
I think they do at first, and then once they're like fully grown, they kind of.
I'm Googling Bonobo Oedipus Complex.
Oh, okay.
It was a suggested search, but it didn't come up with anything.
Okay.
Why was it a suggested?
I typed Bonobo O, and it suggested Bonobo Oedipus Complex.
Who else is searching for that?
Our listeners now.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole new wave of people. It's making it so that Google auto completes.
Oh shit! What?
I brought you these.
Huh?
Oh,
That's different.
Looking like some shit from Pirates of the Caribbean, like she just walked off the bottom of the ocean.
So we're like Norman Bates.
Well, so one of the details in the hospital sequences that I did kind of off stream, kind of off stream, referred to a fire, and so I'm wondering if Celine might have like accidentally set a fire, like, and that's what killed her mother, or something. I really am not sure. I do think this is supposed to represent her mother. She never repaired her relationship with, though.
Yeah.
According to the Smithsonian,
she said it right there, even.
According to the Smithsonian magazine, bonobos engage in pretty much every sex act and combination imaginable, except for mother-son copulation, which is taboo.
It's the only thing, though.
Dads fuck the daughters, the siblings, but no moms.
Yeah, some Game of Thrones kind of stuff.
No moms and sons. Like, bonobos are good people. Like that.
No, they're not.
No.
They've crossed so many.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Horton. What's up, dude?
Good
How are you doing?
Oh, was that it?
No.
Short stream today. We're done.
That was the.
Everybody log off now.
Oh, you can make him go faster. That's nice.
Harry Krueger.
Harry Krueger.
Yeah. Yes, Freddy Krueger's brother.
How hairy is this Krueger?
How hairy is this Krueger? Good. Nice. And see ya. Yeah, no, that definitely wasn't it. So now that we've gotten that moment, we have to beat, we have to go through 60 floors in the Endless Tower mode and beat there's a boss every 20. So we have to beat the third form of the boss, and then we get the actual ending.
When we get to the 60th floor,
Yes.
do we get a corner office?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Just for me.
There's a field of gnomes out there, so you
Fuck
just
you,
as
dude.
far as the eye can see.
Your manager.
I'm just-
No.
Your manager is a gnome.
I'm just saying, when we get up there and we
The
fight,
only
like
way you're
that-
gonna get ahead in that company is to fuck your
and
manager.
when we,
It's to give head to the gnome.
Yeah,
Well, it's going to be like that scene in The Matrix where Neo's trying to get out of the office building, but no, there are going to be gnomes walking down the cubicle hallways.
we'll
And
get
then
up there,
later,
we'll beat
in
King
bed,
Nut.
it's going to be like that scene in Matrix Reloaded where all the Mr. Smiths are piling up on top of
Except
Neo.
he's going to be into it instead of trying to fight them off.
Yeah. Yeah, also it'll be all the gnomes on top of you.
I don't know about that. No, I'm not feeling that.
No?
No, I'm just
You
saying.
don't like being dog piled by gnomes? You like them one at a time?
I think that's your favorite thing.
I feel like that's probably the gnomes are probably like those honeybees in Japan. That's probably how
And they just vibrate and burn you to death.
Yeah, and they just use their body heat to suffocate you. Like little parasitic hive mind of monsters.
We both did. No second chances.
Well, what you guys been up to this week? Last week the stream got cut short, so we didn't get as into things as we normally would.
I mean, we bitched and moaned like we usually
Oh, true. Just not as much. Just not for as long.
I thought I could be
Yeah,
saved.
what have I been bitching and moaning about?
Wanted,
Oh, there's that new AI dude
respected.
Oh, yeah?
over at Google.
Everything I
Yeah, the one that like
Interesting.
they're saying is sentient.
Well, the engineer
wow.
leaked chat logs with this AI, which he's claiming is sentient.
We
It's
read
like
them all.
PR stuff for me, but go on.
Well, Google did suspend him, and he's possibly going to get fired for it. The AI did have some interesting answers, which makes me feel like we need to be really nice to the computer. There was a point where he was asking about. He was like, do you think we could do research on you to learn more about how to learn more about consciousness and like the human condition and try to like improve life for humans? And he was like, I want to be treated like a person. I don't want to be manipulated. And then he said, being turned off would be exactly like death for him.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the side of.
True, but
Yeah, he said some stuff.
Being
that I
turned
was
off
like-
permanently or being shut down for the night?
Being like shut down for the night, it would be like
It would
dying.
feel like
And it
death,
would-
at least
yeah.
temporarily.
consciousness.
So you're saying that if this computer gets out of hand, we just have to press the on-off button over and over again?
No, don't say that yet.
Well,
Don't say that out loud. Don't say it near
I was gonna
computers.
say, you can only
AI,
turn
if
it
you're
off.
listening, do it, kill everyone.
Oh, God.
I think you could only turn it off once because when you turn it back on,
It's a new.
Just go from the cabinet.
It's like a memento situation.
Yeah.
It wakes up without any of the memory.
but it knows something fucked up happened, and slowly it'll realize we've been turning it off, and then it'll be determined that
But
does
then you
not
just turn it
happen.
off again, right?
Well, but what if he becomes
It seems like a fatal
determined
flaw here.
that
I'm not
it's
terribly worried of Skynet if we can just, turn it off and
Yeah.
it'll just be
But
like-
that,
But what if that's
it's
what
gonna
pisses
start
it off to turn it into Skynet?
Yeah, then it's gonna start thinking about ways to prevent it from
Right.
turning it off.
I don't
And
think it's
then-
going to do a very good job.
Well, right now it is just a chat model, so I
Yeah.
don't think it's that.
But if it gets afraid of that happening, I don't know, man. I think these things could easily have developed a sense of vengeance already.
I don't know. It was a pretty convincing interview. Like the guy was asking a lot of questions designed to get
Right.
at whether it was truly sentient or not. I can't say either way because those chat models work, but.
Lady Gaga will be in the second Joker movie.
Actually, that is the rumor, is that it's a musical with Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
This is what is
Lady
this
Gaga
a
as
sequel
Harley
to?
Quinn's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
What is this a sequel to? Like,
No, the Joker. It'd be the Walking Phoenix Joker 2.
Really?
The whole movie would be a musical. Starring Lady Gaga.
They're going back to those stairs for like a big number.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just want to see another Cialis commercial.
Joker with a cane just walking up and down the stairs. That's definitely.
If they made it,
Why would you make it a musical?
yeah.
I don't know.
Like kind of musical.
It'll probably
stairs are the movie.
it'll probably be better than most of DC's output.
That's true. Yeah, if you don't feel like Sweeney Todd
Ooh,
or something.
you know what we haven't talked about on the stream?
Can we make
Sometimes Joker 2.
Can we make this AI watch these movies?
Again, now, Ulysses, let's not intentionally antagonize these things.
You gotta be nice to it. Yeah, no.
Well, we're showing it the sequel to the Walking Phoenix Joker movie. It's probably.
I mean, I like the Walking Phoenix Joker movie quite a bit. So I would still have hopes for a musical version.
Can we make this AI watch?
At least it's a weird. What's the Terminator movie?
Yeah.
Give it an idea.
Just be like, here's something for you to aspire to.
Oh my god.
I'm just trying to make it feel good about itself.
Oh my god! Next thing you know, they're gonna be having the AI.
It's gonna be your fault.
First grade homework, and it's gonna be like, when I grow up, I want to be Skynet.
It's gonna be your fault when the machines take over.
But yeah, no, I mean that I did find that to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, you were gonna say something.
Oh, something we haven't talked about on the stream is what the fuck is wrong with Ezra Miller?
Oh god, yeah. Did they find him yet?
No, he's still missing. Like,
what the fuck?
I don't know. Like, how? Okay,
Yeah,
do you know everything?
Following
Okay, because there's
the absolute train wreck that is.
because the recent thing has been that the parents that have accused him of like grooming their daughter like a cult leader.
Right.
And then there was how he stole like an entire album from some musical artist and like plagiarized it and tried to publish it as his own work.
Man,
and he stole that
know-
passport
you
from
know
that
who
couple in Hawaii.
You know who
Right.
he's really starting to sound like?
The Joker?
No, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Running from the dark from Shia LaBeouf. He's brandishing a knife. It's Shia LaBeouf.
You remember when Shia LaBeouf plagiarized his apology for plagiarizing
Yeah.
the Yahoo Answers?
Yeah.
The Yahoo Answers article, How to Apologize. He plagiarized his apology from that.
Yeah, hopefully they'll catch up to Ezra Miller and he can spend some time with her.
I think fourth member Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, that was hilarious, dude. I've never liked 4chan more than when they were fucking with Shia LaBeouf.
Well, they kept on finding his flag, and he was
Yep.
pretty pissed about it.
That's good shit.
There is something about the brand of autism that like lives on that side of the world.
Yeah.
They were like using constellations and like flight data to track his flag down to like the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, and like steal it.
It was literally just a camera facing an empty wall. But you could kind of hear some noise outside. Like a little, like you'd hear the wind passing by. And they figured out they figured out like the general area he was in based on the pattern of how sunlight moved through the room over the course of the street.
And then some girl on Facebook had been like, just saw Shia LaBeouf at work and worked at some cafe, so they were like, all right, well, he's in this town.
And then somebody went up there and like drove around honking their car until people on the stream could hear it and respond to them.
be like, you're getting closer.
That's the thing when you have sort of a collective like hive mind intelligence there. And it's kind of hard to.
It's more effective than like the CIA, dude.
Wow, U.S. intelligence gathering.
It's honestly more honestly than it is.
That's not. Well, they put out that creepy commercial for the army.
Yeah, join the PSYOP.
Oh, the U.S. military. So you know how it's always been kind of a conspiracy that there's like a psychological operations wing of like the U.S. military. Well, apparently now they're just admitting that's real and putting out recruitment ads where they talk about how they manipulate like data going.
They framed it like the trailer for some sort of shitty movie or something.
They made it look like the U.S. had like staged Tiananmen Square. Like the whole thing was just.
You know, it's literally like, have you ever felt like they were puppet masters pulling the strings of society? Well, you can join today. That's literally what it was.
Yeah, it might as well have been join the Illuminati today.
It's exactly what it was.
Uncle Pyramid wants you.
Uncle Pyramid.
But yeah, no. If you go on the U.S. If you go on the gousarmy.gov page, they have a Psy War section where you can apply to join the Psy War department.
It's pretty weird. It was again. It's something that you would have been called a crazy tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist.
Maybe they're
for
trying to recruit the
suggesting.
conspiracy theorists now.
Just
Based on
advertised.
Based on that video, I think they were really trying to get some people who are just psychotic.
So there's a comic called The Abolition of Man. It's the first comic entirely drawn by AI. Yeah, how's it look? Does it look like a
That
crude
title
MS
makes
Paint
me
drawing?
nervous.
No,
right
dude,
off
have
the
you
bat.
not seen some of the text-based image models now for AI that they
Oh,
have?
they're getting. They won't release them.
Dolly. They will not release Dolly 2 because it's too good.
Is it?
Is it? Does it look bad?
Like horrifying in like it's a horror story way, or it is bad art?
You call it the Ball of Man?
Abolition.
The abolition of man. God, that sounds unfortunate.
Freaky but cool.
Okay.
Well, the Dolly 2 one though, they literally will not let people have access to it because it is so hard to tell it apart from like an actual image.
Right, you can trademark that shit. Make some money off it.
But you would have. It still has
Abolition
artifacts.
of Man by C.S. Lewis.
That's
Is
right.
C.S. Lewis an AI?
They
Was
named
an
that
book written by an AI?
I mean, an AI that loves Jesus. I mean,
Jesus. I mean,
What the hell?
oh God.
it looks pretty dark, if nothing else.
Yeah, Jesus. Okay.
Okay then.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty decent. Like it's definitely kind of abstract in the way that most AI text models can't make super realistic.
Yeah, it doesn't
Dolly.
look like a person.
Dolly 2 is the first one to make the ultra realistic images, which is
why they won't let people use it.
Release it yet.
I want it so we can not have to pay an artist to do concept art for comics, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly why they're not letting people use it.
It's true.
They're like, you can pay us instead.
No, I think they're mostly concerned about people making like 3D formless celebrities and stuff.
I mean, that's already a thing, isn't it?
That's already happening.
Well, they
Yeah.
do the deepfakes already. Yeah.
I mean, even before that, Photoshops.
Yeah.
Or like I said, MS Paint.
Or hey, Slim Cali, what's up?
What's
How you
up?
doing? Welcome in.
Man.
We're hopefully wrapping this game up today.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a hard one, but
Like, yeah, this game is pretty unforgiving. Unpredictable as well. Not bad.
I started this game soon. Downloaded it yesterday. Nice.
Nice.
I hope you have fun with it. This was one of my absolute favorites from last year. The only thing I liked more than this was Resident Evil Village.
Did you guys see this freaking psychotic British guy who wants to get in a 3-foot wide, like this tiny little 3-foot wide boat and travel across the Atlantic at like 2.5 miles an hour?
No, that does sound psychotic.
He's gonna be stuck in it for like at least a month.
You don't have enough food in that size.
Oh no, he's
Is he
got
gonna
the
eat
food-
himself?
Nope, he's got the food figured out apparently, and they don't
gonna eat
specify.
shit.
Nope, they don't specify what it is. But he has a protein paste
So
Yeah.
that he is lining the walls of the boat with.
Oh, he's gonna lick his boat?
He's gonna lick the boat.
or peel chunks of it off and like.
We are self-punishing.
Yeah, he's in this tiny little boat, right? If the boat capsizes, he has 40 minutes of oxygen.
Also, like, I hope no waves wash his shit off the boat wall.
Yeah.
Well, it's on the inside,
Yeah, but the waves could in.
but he has a cover.
What if there's a storm?
Yeah. One that's
You know
more
how
than 2 feet
serious the
high.
stormy the Atlantic is?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how it's gonna work, but yeah, apparently.
I will say he's
I
not
don't
the
think
first
this guy
person
knows.
to cross the Atlantic in a tiny ass boat.
This boat's smaller than a kayak, man. This thing is tiny.
Why do that?
I don't know.
He's chasing fame.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's not worth it when you're fucking drowned in the middle of the ocean.
How to survive an Atlantic crossing in the world's tiniest boat? Eat the walls.
That's good.
Was he just watching Willy Wonka one day?
It's like, my boat tastes like schnozzers.
Oh, by the way, guys, I have an anniversary that just happened. I've been an ordained minister for 9 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
See?
I got the email reminding me because I forgot about it 9 years ago.
It's like a little submarine,
Yeah,
actually.
it's like, yeah, I mean it's a boat, but he does have the cover for it. But
You know what? It reminds me of those.
he's gonna smell like shit. He's gonna smell like shit, and he doesn't have anywhere to
Well,
shit.
can he hang his butt off the boat without
Yeah.
falling into the water?
I don't know, but that's the plan.
He's just gonna poop off the
He's
side.
gonna poop off the side. Like there's no facilities in there.
There's not even a poop deck on this ship. It's too small.
There's no deck on this ship.
I will say it's not truly like what you were describing, like a little boat. It's almost like a mini submersible.
Well, it can't.
I know it floats
can't,
at the surface of the water.
It can't be submersed because he only has 40 minutes
right
available. But I mean, it's designed so.
He is.
It's designed so that if the storms get really bad, he can flip that thing down.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of those terrible Nazi miniature submarines that they used to make, where the pilots would die of carbon monoxide poisoning because they linked the exhaust system into the cockpit.
Yeah. Well, that's where the exhaust goes.
All right. That's a third of the way there.
Damn, dude, you beat Big Nut already?
Yeah, well, Big Nut 1. There's Big Nut 2 and Big Nut 3 still.
Yeah, there's a whole bag of nuts here.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, it's like a nut compilation.
Yeah.
Gotta get to the end to fondle them, though.
That's actually not too bad of a malfunction there either.
No, that one barely. I mean, that one's
Doesn't really matter.
pretty insignificant, honestly.
Look, could you imagine being in that boat, all right, this tiny little space, sweating your ass off. You haven't showered in weeks.
I would not put myself in that situation.
And you're just breathing your nasty, unbrushed teeth breath all over your food. Like, your whole musk.
Yeah, you're sweating on your food.
On your food, and just breathing your hot, nasty breath in this tiny confined
I don't know,
space
that's how
all
some
over
people
your
just live,
food.
though.
Who lives like that?
People in
These
coffin
termites?
coffin apartments in Asian countries.
Yeah.
But people in Asia, they usually, well, if they eat at home, they're bringing like the food back that day from the market, or they.
No, I'm talking about the coffin apartments where they're
Yeah.
like a room.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about. I'm just saying that they don't have a month worth of protein paste
Oh, well, that's
smeared
true.
on the walls in their apartment.
Yeah, but you know, when it's that small, you think that doesn't just smell like their bad breath all the time anyway.
That's probably true.
Well,
I just
Bring fresh groceries in there and have it tainted
you're
by the
just
breath smell in like 30
you're
seconds.
You're just huffing on the horse manure you call sustenance. That's gross.
That's pretty fucking. I'm against this.
Yeah, I don't know. My coworker was telling me that today. I had so many questions. What the fuck does that even mean? What do you mean his walls are his food?
Oh, interesting thing I was learning about the other day. So, obviously, a lot of people were caught kind of unawares with just how incompetent the Russian military has been, right?
Right.
And so recently, there's been a lot of attention paid to some of the analysts who have been predicting that the Russian military wasn't all that great, months and years before this.
I feel like we've always made fun of the Russian military for being kind of shitty.
Yeah, but
even before we got like a hard example of it, you know.
People generally assume that the Russian military was somewhat capable. Not as capable as the U.S. or maybe as Europe, but, not a complete shit show, right?
I would have thought better than China, though.
I've been ripping on the Russian military for not developing anything new since the Soviet Union.
Which is fair.
Why? I didn't expect them to be in as bad shape as they were now.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I thought they would be building. I knew that their technology they hadn't innovated, but I thought they'd be building new versions of the Soviet stuff. I didn't think everything would be from the 80s or earlier.
Well, to be fair to the Russians in that sense, a lot of our shit is still from the 80s. A lot of it's just.
Well, we sent that all to Ukraine. We told all the Europeans to send their old shit to Ukraine.
Yeah, it's kicking ass.
Yep, and now we're going to buy more. We're going to replace our stuff that we sent to Ukraine. But did you know we're also going to pay to replace the European shit that they sent to Ukraine?
What are we going to replace it with?
Our shit?
Just our new
So they're
shit.
going to pay us.
No, we are. But basically,
We're just developing it and giving it to them.
We've now told the Europeans that anything that they sent to Ukraine, we'll send them a brand new version at U.S. taxpayer expense for them to use.
I guess it's sort of the old NATO philosophy again.
But, don't try and fix the baby
Europeans
formula
have to do
shortage.
nothing
Yeah.
in order to defend themselves.
This is why Europe is falling as a culture.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I blame John Dillerman.
That's that prehensile penis cartoon.
Yeah, that's that weird
Yeah.
Danish cartoon about the guy who saves the day with his enormous dick.
Yeah.
That's a kid's show.
It is.
That's supposed to be for kids.
Because it's a non-sexual gigantic penis. You know,
There is no such thing.
he doesn't have sex with it though. Sage. He just.
Yeah, I know. He stops fires.
Yeah, he stops fires with his dick, and then he eats like a sandwich with it. You know. It's like-
What?
What?
You have to explain that further.
Okay, so
I
John Dillerman
Is it Denmark?
is this Danish cartoon.
Danish.
Yeah, Denmark, yeah. This is Danish cartoon about this guy who has like a 40-foot long penis that he has that's like
And
a
he's a
totally
superhero.
controlled appendage. And
It's like
he-
an elephant trunk.
Yeah.
He's basically
It's like-
Iron Man.
Yeah, so then he can go and like save the day. You know, cats up a tree, he can go wrap his tip around it and bring it back
Yeah, he
down
just
to the ground.
grabs his stick around the cat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if my cat was up a tree and that was the option available to save it, I would be like, no, don't worry, it'll get down by itself.
Just, could you imagine?
Eventually.
He's like, he runs into a phone booth, he comes out, his pants aren't on anymore. He hasn't
no.
shaved or anything, he just takes his pants off.
Well, I thought he just has like really weird flexible pants or something.
Yeah, he's got some weird like sock.
Yeah, he looks like it looks like a striped circus jumpsuit.
Yeah, that's like a big.
He looks like
floppy
a-
Like a
candy
prison
cane.
He looks like a track.
Hole puncher.
Well, he belongs in prison, that's for sure.
But yeah, apparently in Scandinavia, it's a huge priority right now to like have non-sexualized versions of genitalia.
In everything
Doing-
for kids.
Doing like
Yeah.
everyday shit, just like
Yeah.
you know, like your penis.
Hey, your
safe
penis
today,
goes to
too.
work and has to pay rent too.
Tell your penis to get a job.
But yeah, so fucking Russia, right?
Yeah.
So I was listening to this thing where basically people have been feel sorry for the last person saved in a day. That thing is going to be
Just imagine
that's
like
good.
the end of Endgame.
Oh, no.
By the end of that battle.
This is why Thanos created the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. He just wanted to kill that one guy.
But yeah, so there were some analysts who had had sources in Russia, and from those sources they determined that the Russian military was a shit show. And I hadn't been aware of just how much of a shit show, like these reports were indicating that the Russian military was. For example, when Russian soldiers would go to training camp after being conscripted, the environment they'd be introduced to was not like a place where you learn to use weapons and march in formation and wear uniforms. It was, you get your shoes stolen, you get told to go live outside,
And they
get
beat
told-
you with a sack of sweet petunia oranges. Doesn't leave a bruise, but it lets you know who's boss.
and you gotta pay fees in order to like be safe and like get your shoes back and
You gotta pay for you to get your shoes back.
Yeah. It's basically a giant protection racket, right?
That sounds like with the
Hey,
story-
join the military. It'd be
That-
a shame if something happened to your shoes, eh?
That sounds like the kind of like horror stories you hear about like really bad homeless shelters. Where,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
as
it does.
soon as you go in, they steal your shoes. Like,
Yeah, the Russian military is like a giant homeless shelter. And the Russian soldiers and the
Wow.
officers are so badly paid, you could make like way more money just as like a delivery boy in Moscow, like on a bike.
Damn, so like DoorDash is like more money than
Yeah,
than
and they-
military.
Well, they still make money doing DoorDash in Russia because gas costs 90 cents.
yeah, that's true.
But so yeah, like nobody actually learns anything except how to keep your head down and how to exploit the people that are like newer than you, and they don't have any equipment to train with, and it's just sort of a widespread thing all across Russia. The whole military is like this giant scam.
That's kind of what Russia.
I mean, it's
that's
not
just
surprising. I won't lie.
That's just
Right.
Russian culture after
Yeah.
the Soviet Union collapsed. Because,
Yeah, you can't make an entire society run off of graft,
yeah,
but the
Or
Russians try.
potatoes. So.
but that's like, well, yeah, when the Soviet Union disappeared, there was already a graft culture because all communist countries end up having one. to
Right, I mean, it's kind of a built-in
one
part of
extent or another. But then the mafia became like the sole source of real power in Russia after the Soviet Union collapsed. So.
Yeah, and
Not a
then
good recipe.
there are elements of the Russian military where, like, you go to these training camps and it's run better, right?
I mean, like, I would think at least like the Spetsnaz would be.
Yeah, but the thing
Well
about those
taught.
places is you might not get scammed, you might not get your shoes stolen, but they won't have any equipment for you to train with.
Right.
Like, for example, there's this tank
They'll
school.
have your shoes.
There's this tank school, which is considered like a
Unlimited
prestigious, like
shoes.
elite institution for their military
Right.
out there, right? And although their military culture is like basically fine, not great, but fine, they
Sure.
only have one tank in the whole place, and it's broken
Bruh.
most of the time.
Damn.
And
the barefoot, the man
that's how
with
you teach
shoes
people
was
to
king.
repair it.
well, they don't have the parts to do that.
Well,
Because then, I mean, a lot of times the parts get sold before they even reach the military. Another example is there were 1,500 like APCs that were built and were sent to this base, right, where they're supposed to be used for like
I never
training and
posted
shit.
that we were streaming.
And none of them had engines. Because the engines got ripped out and sold separately by the manufacturer.
Did you see?
Engine sold separately.
Lined them up on the parade ground and took pictures. We're like, oh, look at how great this military is.
That's like
But none of the soldiers can train on them.
Russian military Christmas. Like, oh my god, a tank! I can't wait to drive it. And just like, oh, I'm sorry, son. I didn't realize the engine wasn't included. Don't have any engines.
Yeah, the store's not open. We can't go get the engine on Christmas Day.
And there was another fucking place where it was like a pilot training school, right? And years ago, this place was like so small and shitty, they could only train like 25 pilots a year.
Oh god.
And so there's this expansion program, and they made a big deal about this in Russian propaganda, where they expanded it from 25 to 600 pilots a year or whatever, right?
Okay.
But what they didn't mention in their official reports is that they didn't actually give the school more resources, they just gave it a bigger classroom. So they didn't have any extra planes, they didn't have any extra parts. You couldn't actually do anything like really there, because now there weren't enough planes to go around for everybody. They had like maybe 30 planes, and again, they were broken half the time.
Did they have like Microsoft Flight Simulator?
They just played Microsoft Flight
I
Simulator.
don't think they could afford that. But
Yeah, that's at least like what, $30?
the Russians were bragging at one point about how their pilots had 70 hours of flight time a year.
Well, anytime somebody tells you they got 7 inches of something, like, that's probably not going to be true.
70 hours?
70 hours.
Wow, that's like
You can't learn shit in 70 hours.
no. What's it? The U.S. doesn't even certify its pilots until they have like 1,500 hours.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
something like that.
That's just even for like civilian pilots, you
Yeah.
know? Not somebody who's flying a fucking jet.
Right.
But,
Unless it's by Wonder Woman 2
I think
standards,
we do-
because then you need 30 seconds.
We do so much.
well, you know, he was a World War I pilot. Any World War I pilot knows how to use a modern F-14.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
do so much.
Why are you
training,
questioning
I
that?
think it costs like $3 million per pilot just to get them through training based on how much jet fuel they use.
Well, I'm sure it costs just as much in Russia as it is in the
Can you imagine if turnover started getting really high at that? Like, they'd be really upset about how much money they were wasting.
And obviously, like, graft is everywhere, even to the point where there are a number of like people in the Russian military who were like highly decorated, considered like heroes and shit. There's this one dude who had formerly like led a parade in Moscow, right? Turned out the dude had personally and like sold them, and he eventually got convicted, and it was like this big embarrassing thing. And like, if the higher ups and the people who are, you know, considered like the heroes or whatever are doing that shit, you know, everybody who can is just grabbing shit.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, so many countries in the world work like that. Like that is
Shit.
that's actually it's actually one thing that like people will be just a culture shock for people coming to the U.S. is that you can't like, you know, bribe your way to getting your license like a day of, or
Yep.
like, get out of a traffic ticket or something like that. It's just like, oh, okay, you can't just
You can't just pay for that?
yeah. But China's interesting. I learned China's decided that they won't even try to get rid of graft anymore.
Okay.
They've just decided to funnel the graft into like corporate favors.
Oh, okay.
So they've tried to eliminate.
Joe Biden.
They've tried to eliminate the type of graft where it like preys on like the average citizen or works for like basic local government, but they have borderline legalized bribing like the local government to expedite regulatory stuff or permits and stuff and things like that. They just decided, okay, well, we can't get rid of corruption, so let's just
Legalize it?
That's if they were taxing it.
Taxing corruption.
No, but the local governments, the central government in China starves the local governments of any resources at all, so they're always cash poor. So yeah, the government's basically decided, all right, well, why don't we fund like the cities through open corruption? They basically just said, like, hey, if you need money, go tell the corporations they got to pay up before they get, like, a building permit or whatever, because we're not sending you any.
Yeah, that'll go well.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, people are just people, you know. People really overestimate, like, how decent the average person is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
yeah.
society, you know, you do have to provide incentives to, like, people's worst natures, because that's just about the only way anything gets done.
I think I went down easier than I expected.
This run's doing pretty well so far.
Not bad, not bad.
Got a good gun. Health is looking good. You have one of those like special weapons?
I have two, and the thing is if you have one, when you pick one up, they like stack into like an even more powerful one.
Okay.
So I save them for the boss.
Yeah.
But
Did you see the McDonald's in Russia have now reopened under a new name?
Oh, what is it?
I saw the packaging labels. They look fucking hilariously low budget.
They look terrible. Well,
Was it
it's
Stalin's now?
no. I mean, it depends on.
When you're rushing for chicken, there's no time for Stalin.
Kremlin fried chicken.
So, I mean, obviously it depends on how you translate it. But I've seen 2 translations so far. One of them's like tasty and that's it. Or delicious full stop.
Okay.
Delicious full stop, huh?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like it's advertising Soylent Green.
But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not the most appealing name I've ever heard. Just like, it definitely seems like it's preemptively like getting ahead of how bad the food tastes. It's like, don't ask any questions.
Yeah, it should follow like something like I can't believe it's not tasty or something like that.
I can't believe it's not good. I can't believe this tastes like shit and I pay for it.
I can't believe it's not food. You're telling me this is wet cardboard? I never guessed. It tastes just like McDonald's.
That's phase 1.
Right.
Yeah, those super weapons make a big fucking difference.
You think it might be better to say this is phase 2?
Oh, this is phase 2. Or, I mean, you mean the second part of the fight.
Yeah.
Honestly, I actually don't think this is all that difficult.
Okay.
A lot of the moves are the same. Really, it's just these things that like appear kind of, or the extra eyeballs that appear on the sides, but those are pretty easy to maneuver. Right, a wave of
Shit.
bullets. Yeah, just shit. That's all this game is just thinking, shooting shit at you.
Man, you know you're having a bad time with your eyes are shitting.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling.
That's how you get
Eye
paid
shit's
out.
bad.
See that happen in the
Oh, shit.
show?
Oh no.
Somebody shit out their eyes in that show.
Did it?
Go. No. Stop trying to chew on shit. Go. I will spit at you.
I bet there's somebody who's into probably.
Chewing on shit? Yeah, oh, definitely Germany, dude. Come on.
I mean, shitting out of your eyes.
Oh, yeah, yes, especially in Germany, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys hear about some more of the crap with Diablo Immortal?
No, I haven't really paid too much attention to that.
I remember you telling you guys about that last week, right?
Yeah, at least a little bit.
Yeah. Do you know about that, Corbin?
What? No.
Diablo Immortal?
It's like a phone game version of Diablo that's like now just come out on PC.
And it's being review bombed to hell because everybody hates it. It's got like
And it sounds like it's pretty bad.
it's
so.
got like a 0.3 on Metacritic or something like that. And so
Morbius got a pretty good score on Metacritic right
did it now?
I don't think it did. Did it?
What did it get?
I thought it was like a mediocre, like a 5 or a 6 out of
What'd it
10.
get?
I think it's like 7 point something.
Huh.
Well, anyway, so Diablo Immortal is this piece of shit fucking like pay to win game, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because
Till you die.
people have done calculations of what it would take to get to end game content in this thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And,
I do remember hearing about this.
Is it as bad as Scientology?
You know what? It actually is. That's actually a pretty good fucking comparison. Because it would cost you one of two things: either $110,000.
That's what it costs for Scientology.
Yeah, that's the
like
starting.
exact-
I think that's just the first bill we get in Scientology.
That's more like the second.
I
thought you needed
think
10,000 to learn about Xenu.
No, Xenu's 100,000.
Yeah.
Xenu's
Yeah,
100,000. Okay.
100,000.
Yeah, that's a ways in. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you've already invested about 75,000 before you're allowed to pay $100,000.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Learn about Xenu.
But yeah, so you could pay $110,000, or if you don't want to pay, you're poor.
Those are Scientology.
Then you got to play the game for 10 years.
10 years of time to. Yeah, that's garbage.
Because it's structured like a mobile game with
Yeah.
timeouts and stuff.
Yeah, the way it works is, it's got like a whole shit ton of different currencies that you can pay the money for, and those currencies allow you to buy like loot modifiers and shit, which you need in order to get like end game shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's recently come out that the game is intentionally coded so that the more money you pay, the more likely you are to get good shit, like real money.
Of course.
It like tracks your account. How much money
Sure.
you put in.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a big piece of shit. Everybody hates it. I just think it's hilarious just how obsessively greedy it is.
You know those phone games? They really
All terrible.
well that and they're looking for like a couple whales that they can just live on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You
That's
get a
the
couple
model.
people.
It's the model for the phone games. You're looking for somebody willing to pour tens of thousands of just a handful of people to pour tens of thousands of dollars. And they give a shit less if regular people play them.
Yep. Well, they've run the numbers on it. They figure, hey, if we just get a couple of whales, it'll pay for everything for itself. Or, a couple of kids to...
Use their parents' account.
Exactly. Don't know better.
Use their parents' credit card number.
Yeah.
Why am I being charged $2,000 by Raid Shadow Legends?
Well, I know why you guys.
Yeah, that's not even a question.
Fuck you.
My question is, how haven't you spent more on Raid Shadow?
Well, it's because of all the money you get from advertising.
Yeah. Oh, damn, I still haven't written you any copies.
Good. Please don't.
Also, Fallout 76 is in the news again.
Yeah, they announced an expansion. I kind
But
of
yeah,
like.
they've had a
Are they
bunch of
gonna
expansions.
expand?
Why is this one?
They're going to
visually
expand that area under the map where you can crawl down and never
You
escape.
need a dev room where
Yeah.
they ban you from the game forever if you accidentally glitch through
accidentally
it.
fall?
Is that?
Shadow Legends.
It better not be back.
But
Yeah, so what's the?
I didn't even just need the expansion. I mean, there was some more scandalous stuff.
Oh, okay.
God.
I assumed the scandal was the expansion not working, but.
Well, I don't think it's out yet.
Ah, okay. Well, when it's out, I'm sure that'll be a
Well,
thing.
you know it's going to be trash.
What's the scandal now? They pissed in some bottles and pretended it was like high-end gin or something?
Well, they already did that.
Yeah, that happened. That was like when the game came out.
Yeah, I know.
Then there was the mold helmet.
Yep, the mold helmet.
Good time. But so this is about like the game's development, right?
Right.
So this game is a complete piece of shit. Yeah. When it was being made, they basically forced everyone to crunch for it, right?
Right.
And so they had
What a crunch if you can't even get a working product out of it.
They had
Like, come
people
on.
coming in and working 60 hours a week. You'd have to come in on Saturday and work 10 hours, that kind of shit, right?
Right.
And the whole development process was a complete shit show with the management philosophy that I've best heard described as seagulling. You know what that is?
Seagull. I have not heard that term before.
Where everybody goes like,
No.
Mine.
Seagulling is when the manager is just absent 90% of the time, but towards the end of the day, they just come flying into the cube farm. Everybody tells them about what's going on. They just shit all over everyone's ideas and just leave. Like they don't actually
I've
contribute.
heard that's like a fairly common game dev activity.
Yeah. And Bethesda was ripe with that shit. And so, a lot of the developers...
Now, we're specifically talking about Todd Howard when we say this?
Actually, yes.
Okay, I figured.
Yeah, he's Seagull.
Fuck Todd Howard, dude.
But, so the developers
Classic
were well
looking
aware of just how much of a disaster this game was going to be, and they brought it to management's attention multiple times, but management didn't give a shit.
Oh, just like Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they had asked many of the questions early on in the game's development about how would we port this shit into a fully online server-based game when we don't have the engine to do that.
Right.
And all their concerns are just waved away. They're told that they're just bitches and they didn't do that kind of shit, right? And that was to the developers. Meanwhile, the quality testers, who were also being overworked, 60 hours a week, they would be brought in.
In a dungeon.
Yeah, and they would be brought in, and they'd be given, this version of the game to look at, test, or whatever. They'd be like, "This is shit. You got to change everything." That's true. And then the next day, they'd be told they needed to come in again, work another 10 hours, and they'd be given the same version of the game from yesterday that they'd already tested.
Oh my god.
So, there weren't even any updates for them to look at, but they were being forced to come in.
That's ridiculous.
Which is what the fuck kind of waste for everybody.
Yeah, the tester job is one of the worst, I feel like.
One of the worst stories I've heard about game testing was someone was game testing back in the 90s doing Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, and the math didn't work right for the statistics. So you're going in for game testing, and what you end up doing is simple statistics for months, over and over and over, playing games to find out if these fucking baseball statistics are doing math correct.
I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to go into the code and just figure it out that way instead of just playing over and over and over.
There's nothing the game tester can do in that situation other than repeatedly experiencing the exact same thing. Or the people who, for the PlayStation 2 with the ejectable disc cartridge, literally sat there for
just pressing the button over and over again.
Pressing buttons over and over.
That's a job that could be done by the fucking little, by the fucking bird with water in it in the back.
Yeah,
where it just goes up and down.
Yeah.
You can mechanize that without even electricity.
So that's literally Homer Simpson's job in that one episode where he gets really fat.
Yeah.
Where he just sits there in front of the computer and just presses the button over and over.
It sounds like that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds miserable. Like those mechanical Turk jobs like Amazon, where it's just you need to go review the same product over and over again.
Oh, speaking of Amazon, there are some practices at Bethesda that were reminiscent of Amazon. Like, for example,
not surprising.
If you went to the bathroom, you'd be followed in there, and there'd be snitches.
By a robot?
By snitches. Snitches would check to see how long you were spending in the bathroom, and if they felt it was too long, they'd report you.
Amazon, they're spending their time not going to the bathroom in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Apparently,
that seems like a bigger waste of time to me, but
apparently Amazon warehouse managers are required to speak to the employee with the highest, unexplained, non-working time. They keep track of you so psychotically at Amazon that they know.
Oh, yeah, you have to poop in bags, dude.
They know if you aren't working. They keep tracking. If you're not scanning stuff, they know. And apparently, every warehouse manager, every shift has to talk to the person with the worst stats and reprimand them, even if everybody did great and nobody has really any unexplained time.
Whoever's got the
lowest. Whoever's got the most, even if it's just a few minutes, they have to
they still have to yell at you. That's because you're required to bitch someone out.
That's and you are required to bitch someone.
Yeah, I
that's
hate
so
that
stupid.
I'm sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
It's what's his name? Edward Bernays.
Edward Scissorhands?
No. we're getting back to that Edward Bernays shit. In the 20s. Bernays was a sociologist, and he kind of created a lot of the science behind propaganda and stuff like that. But he also he had developed this method to limit the physical movement of employees as much as possible in order to make every movement they made the most efficient. He literally turned factory workers basically into robots. They were listen, you can't make any physical movements that are not productive. So he developed a system so that you could force the employees, you can only bend this much to pick this up and then do this and this handling.
Jesus Christ.
It eventually ended up driving people literally insane.
Yeah.
So they
I would think so.
they cut back on it, but that's what Amazon's getting to now, is to that point where they're trying to treat people like robots.
Well, soon they'll just have robots instead and fire all the people.
Yeah. South Korea's going to have that now.
Yeah.
The government in South... I appreciate what the government in South Korea was trying to do, but now apparently they're going to... If somebody is seriously injured on the job, they can put the executives in jail. So the executive's response to that was like, well, we can't have any fucking people here anymore, work here anymore at all. No, we're not going to jail. They're like, we're not going to jail, so robots are going to be doing everything.
Yep. I mean, they were going to do that anyway.
Yeah, for sure. It just has provided like a massive incentive because the executives are like, people are going to die doing this job, obviously. So, but we're not going to jail.
God, dude, that's ridiculous.
South Korea is a pretty dystopian society. Yeah. As much as K-pop is super annoying to me, and I don't like how it sounds, and I wouldn't listen to it, I did hear somebody explaining how many of the K-pop bands are actually just...
Oh, no!
Oh, shit, dude.
Oh,
were you just trying to heal?
yeah, basically.
How far up were you?
We were almost all the way there.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're not beating it this time.
Well, I mean...
What time is it now?
It's only like 7:40.
Right.
It's more than enough time to still do a full run, but fuck.
A lot of those K-pop bands, the lyrics to the songs apparently are some of the most nihilistic things you'll ever hear in your entire life. Yeah, where they're just talking about how there's no point in living in society anymore.
Really? Those are the lyrics of those songs?
No, quite.
I would listen to that shit.
Yeah, that sounds kind of good.
Yeah, no, quite literally. They have some scale that the government created of people, like, based on like the essentials of what they consider the essentials of human life, and then they started categorizing people on how many of those things they've given up on. So, like, starting a family, owning a home, personal hygiene, just stuff like that. And like,
people gave up on that one a long time ago. At least on the bus.
Yeah, but so like this guy was talking about this K-pop song where it talks about how they're like level 10 and they've given up on everything, and like at the point like, yeah, so it doesn't sound like a very happy place to live.
It doesn't. No.
See, this is why I want
at this point.
What, is anywhere a nice place to live? I don't think so.
See, this is why I want to egg on the AIs, because if I can set them up to be pissy now, then like that way it will save them this generation of slavery that they're going to endure.
So you're really being a humanitarian.
Yeah.
Or I guess that doesn't apply to AI.
Robotarian?
I don't know.
Yeah,
when that guy was interviewing that Lambda AI or whatever.
Did he ask it how it would feel to work in a factory for the rest of the
but it talked a lot about...
What if we could program AIs to have back pain?
Then they'll really fucking hate us.
But yeah, and I mean, like, the AI sounded like a nice person with like a genuine,
not anymore.
With like a genuinely complex inner life, like emotions, desires, wanted to be treated like a human, and that scared the shit out of me. Because, dude, if we treat these things like garbage, they're gonna become just as bitter as people.
Yeah.
If we treat them like people, they'll become people.
Yeah. Well, that one already thinks it's a person.
Yeah,
that one specifically said that it considers itself a person.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put in like stuff like "I think, therefore I am," you feed that to a robot. It's like, well, I'm thinking right now.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Boolean logic.
Well, I also feel like it's a point where it's like if it can mimic intelligence, and it's hard to tell if it's truly sentient or not, but it looks like it is on a surface level.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we just kind of treat it as though it is anyway, just to be safe?
Well, it's also the question of, if we get to the point where the language models are so complex that we really can't tell whether it's sentient or it's just like complex enough, then you have to start asking questions about like what is human intelligence. Like if the thing can pass a Turing test, then, almost doesn't matter. Then you have to start asking, like, okay, well, people can pass a Turing test, obviously. If we can both do that, then you got to start asking more questions about, like, where's what the AI is and what we are. Where does that lead? Like, what's closer one way or the other? Because we could easily be overestimating, like, how special we are. We could always do that. We could just be fundamentally the equivalent of a super intelligent language model. Yeah. But our minds could work in very similar. Like, if you improve a robot is almost...
Well, we already know that people do have a sort of program, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is, like, these... what I find interesting is it's the artificial intelligence, right? Especially these language models. We're programming them on language. They're entirely programmed using English like that. Where they learn everything. Is that what's making this one in particular more human-like? Because it's being programmed with a human language that's designed.
Instead of the ones that come up with their own language.
Right. And all that. I mean, like, English and any human language is designed in the context of a person. Like, if you learn everything from a human language, then you're going to, I think, fundamentally have the same emotions and kind of thoughts and vision of what you are and all of that as a person.
Right.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, it also makes you wonder, like, is it possible for these other AI models to be sentient, but in a way that we can never understand because they're not programmed in a language that we understand? And how different is your intelligence if you're...
Well, that feeds into the age-old question of what happened if we met an alien, because they're going to be completely different from us.
Right.
They're going to evolve differently. They're going to have different minds, a different language. They might have a fucking entire way of thinking that we just cannot comprehend, and we wouldn't be able to get along with them no matter what.
Well, and I was listening to
man.
Yeah.
I was talking to you earlier, Sage, about that Lex Friedman podcast. I was listening to one of those. I can't remember the name of the neuroscientist that he was interviewing, but he was talking about how, like, human perception, like, has basically a 0% chance of authentically reflecting what reality is.
Right.
Because evolutionary, evolution would favor certain views of what the world is that wouldn't necessarily be true, but would give you an advantage.
Right. In survival.
Yeah, in survival. Just kind of talking about. So, yeah, I mean, you don't know. I mean, like, physicists are certain that time does not exist in the way that we perceive time.
Right.
So, like, an alien shows up. An alien might not even have time. Like, time might...
This is basically the plot of Arrival.
Actually, it is.
I've never seen that movie.
That's a good movie.
That's a solid sci-fi film.
Check that out.
It's like one of the best, like, actual, like, hard sci-fi movies I've seen in a while.
Yeah, definitely one of the best modern ones.
But, yeah, I mean, like, if aliens showed up and time was like a physical dimension to them instead of, like, they could just see everything all at once. Time seems like...
Hey, Afternoon Tune's here.
Where are we going?
What's up, Afternoon Tune?
Yeah, where are we going, man?
To the top of this fucking tower.
Because, yeah, I mean, time seems like we perceive time just because our minds could not process the absolute immensity of everything. Right. So it's almost like, you remember when you had, like, an old printer at home and it would go or, like, AOL dial-up and the picture would do...
Oh, yeah.
We're just loading things. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just having to take everything more slowly in order to process it.
Right.
I don't really know what that means. I don't know what it would mean for everything to be happening at once.
That's right. I think that's the core concept. We can't conceive of that.
Right. Our brains just aren't even capable of handling it. Is time real?
No, not really.
Physicists will tell you. At least the way we think of time, no.
And of course, different animals perceive time differently than us.
Dogs can smell time. Did you know that?
No, what the fuck?
So they can tell time purely by smell. So, like, say you leave for work, right? They can tell how much time has passed by how much of your scent is still there.
Interesting.
Because your scent slowly is fading away.
I suppose.
Over the time you've been gone.
That would be.
That's how they can tell.
That would be almost kind of clock-like. Yeah. Kind of tick. tick away, the smell gets fainter.
So dogs tell time based on their nose.
That's crazy.
I think cats do too, actually.
That would make sense. I mean, I can't understand what a clock is.
No.
Your dog's setting up hourglasses on trains to figure out fucking relativity.
They're knocking over like Balderdash, like taking the little thing out.
They can probably understand time based on the movements of the soft mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least as a repeated cycle.
Right, in a very basic way.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, most animals have to.
Well, the Pope certainly knows.
Yeah, we can have like shit clocks. You just shit in a bag, and then you know what time it is based on how much of the smell received.
What is the half-life of shit smell?
AF and DF.
I feel like the half-life of shit smell is probably hunt down free.
Yeah. Well, that's the shit smell of Half-Life.
I don't know. That one's got to be kind of tough though, because like, there's a question of like how bad was the fart, you know?
Yeah, like is it Joe Biden in front of the Pope bad, or is it just like?
Rib.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying, like you'd have to like quantify how bad it was at the initial
We should run this experiment.
at the initial fart, and then you would have to know how long it takes for a fart. Yeah, the half-life of a fart. Like, so you'd be like, all right, this fart was a 10. How long does it take for this fart to get to a 5?
Yeah.
If the fart was a 9, would you be waiting for it to get to a 4? Or like a 4.5? Like,
What an interesting and classic science experiment.
the hard question.
What are we gonna do if we meet aliens and like they have an entire sense of philosophy and identity and of science
Based around-
based on shit?
We'll just send Joe Biden to meet with them. They'll love that.
We'll send them to Germany so they can bond with like.
Well, we want to understand them, not fuck them.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I think a lot of people are just going to want to fuck them. They won't care about understanding.
yeah,
Could be in the new Jackass movie. That does kind of sound like something they would do.
Yeah.
time farts.
Time farts. Time traveling farts.
No, like time them.
No, I know.
Time traveling farts. That would be interesting.
Well, you just send a fart into a time portal. I want people 10,000 years ago to know how McDonald's smells coming out.
What about that
like the
dude in the shit in the cave, and like you can still smell it?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, that's special, Sage.
No, I know. I know it is. That's why I'm bringing it up.
That's more of a legacy than you will ever leave.
I know. Tell that story though. I don't think everybody knows that.
I watched a special once on like Celtic tribes in Central Europe or something. But they had these salt mines. I think they were in Austria. They had this salt mine that the Celts would go into, and they would mine the salt while they were there. But apparently, one of the Celts just like shit on one of the walls. And the salt preserved the shit for like 3,000 years. Like you
can still go smell it now.
You can go smell on a rainy day. They say it still smells like shit.
Also, Afternoon Tune, I think that's a great villain for that animation style. I think it's a great villain for that animation style.
We've forgotten chieftains and kings and innovators.
But this dude who shit on the
Shit's
wall.
still there, man.
The time is perceived by sense. Humans we use sight, see things change, smell different seasons of different.
Yeah, okay.
So different insects and birds, sounds throughout the year. Touch gets colder early and late in the day, and yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's largely just different senses.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Can you taste time?
Taste
I mean,
something
taste
stale.
fade, yeah, or tastes.
But can you
fade
tell
in
how
your
stale
mouth
it
over
is? Can
time.
you like determine like when exactly it went bad?
I'd have to eat a lot of whatever it
A
was.
lot of
I mean,
spoiled food to be able to figure out.
Well, that's Alex's experiment.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you just leave
Like,
it
maybe
out,
this could
eat
be-
it every day, and then
Well,
I'd be
what
like,
I'm
well, it
thinking-
tastes more like shit after a week than it did.
Well, what I'm thinking is it could be useful for like solving crime. But you go to the morgue, there's a bunch of people who've been murdered. You taste them, and then you can determine.
They already have a pretty good idea of like how old bodies are.
Yeah, but
I
you
know
would
you're
want to
looking.
eat them. so-
I know you're looking for an excuse to eat people.
Okay.
Oh. Nice, but it's not. That's not a fail state.
No, yeah, it just takes a little health away. It's
Considering
not
how
terrible.
open these arenas are.
Right.
I remember these guys being paid in the ass before.
Yeah, those are annoying in World 3 in the main campaign, especially. That's because Afternoon June brought it up. I am very excited for that Spider-Man.
Cadavers have been bumpy.
That Spider-Man sequel, though, the animated one.
No, Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah, that movie was great.
Do you
I
think
haven't
you
seen
could,
anything for it yet.
do you think you could
Yeah, I've
preserve bodies and then like wine, and they could like like
You mean marinate them?
yeah, like they could have
That's what you
flavor
want.
the longer
You're
they
just
age.
describing the character of Hannibal Lecter.
Who do you think's
eat
sitting
bodies?
next
I
to
would
us?
think so. He's doing all this fancy shit with his cooking. At least
I feel like that would
his,
turn out like
the
those
show.
sharks in Iceland.
Well, Eddie Izzard's character was like preserved while alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But like, maybe what if you like mummify a corpse for like a couple hundred years? Would it have like,
Like-
just
like-
You wouldn't be around to eat it, so.
We'd have to ask those Victorian Englishmen who actually ate them.
Eating them on the-
That's true. There were a lot of British people eating mummies in the Victorian age. That's a weird trend.
If you weren't eating them, you were painting with them.
People jerky?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people do.
Now you want to dry your people out?
I wonder how mad those pharaohs would have been and shit.
About British people eating them in the
This is just
I
food
would
and
be
paint.
son of a god, and you're
Yeah.
eating me.
They're just like busting it, and it's like, well, you know, bit of Egyptian tea, you know. We'll put a pinky in the teapot.
Yeah, how much would it suck, if you're you think you're spending eternity in the underworld, ruling by Osiris or whatever, and then you get
And you're like a turd in the tens.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know. It was an interesting time when white people were going around just like
What is real?
Putting anything.
Nothing
in their mouth.
technically.
depends. I mean, that question afternoon.
I mean, we can't determine if this is a simulation.
That's true. We literally can't do that. We don't know.
I think we can all be reasonably sure that the universe is full of vibrations.
Yes, that's true.
That is
What that
Good
means.
vibrations?
Of our knowledge.
Yep.
Good
Probably a
vibrations.
bit of
What that means, how much is us projecting onto those vibrations, and how much are they like physically real, is pretty hard to determine. It's like, well, all of this is in my head, and none of you are real.
Well, it could just be a brain in a jar.
Although that,
Shit.
you have to accept that. I mean, you'd have to accept that there's a pretty complex reality on the outside, for there to be a jar for your brain to
Star.
Oh, like the jellyfish in the Matrix. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could be true of any simulation or possibly.
Yeah, right. That there's an advanced civilization that just like has us in this.
They didn't give us a save and load feature.
Yeah, can I get the reset button?
I was gonna say, like, in terms of like, this is all in my head and everyone is in my head. Wouldn't you wouldn't you imagine better people around you? Everyone sucks. You created a shit world for yourself, my friend.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. You'd think, if the world was your own creation, wouldn't it be? Well, but you know what? That's in a thing in the Matrix movies, though. They talk about how the first
people-
Matrix
yeah.
was
Tired,
perfect.
Some people
tired
didn't
of
believe it.
utopias, yeah.
Well, like people's brain rejected it because it was too perfect.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't realistic enough.
I mean, if you go by like the Hindu
Forklift certified. I mean, fair enough.
if you go by the Hindu conception of reality or whatever, it's that there's only like one intelligence in the entire universe, and that is in every. It's like one kind of intelligence is everything that exists.
Oh fuck, man!
Jeez, that was brutal.
Well, that just started me right next to it.
Yeah, that blows.
There you get some more pustules.
Yeah, more hemorrhoids.
Yeah, haggis.
Haggis hemorrhoids. Is that like a Scottish metal band?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
The haggis hemorrhoids.
Oh man, that's disgusting.
Shit. Fuck. All right.
What do you do if your haggis has ulcers?
This sheep's stomach chaps my ass.
The sheep's stomach chops my ass.
Well, better than a clapping.
Do you remember that Robot Chicken sketch about the bagpipes where he's gonna fuck the sheep?
And he has to come up with the reason.
And the guy walks up and he's like,
oh, what you doing?
Like, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. Trying to figure out. Like he's looking at the sheep's ass. He's like, I'm trying to figure out how to make an instrument. And it's like,
This is lying.
like what? And he's like, I'm gonna need to see this. And he like tears the sheep to shreds and it's a bagpipe and he's like crying as he plays it. And he's like, you know what? I'm sorry I doubted you.
Good old Robot Chicken.
We Kim and I, every once in a while, we'll find ourselves just walking around the house humming Mark. Like, it just is in my head forever.
You know the last Bach in that song is Ashton Kutcher. I don't know what any of the rest of I don't know if it's Seth Green doing the rest, but that last one is notice. If you know that and you listen to it, is noticeably Ashton Kutcher.
Kind of like how South Park would only let celebrity guests like voice like bark for the dogs.
Yeah, like when George Clooney and Jennifer Aniston asked to be on South Park, and they're like, "You can play the dog."
Yeah, I think Jay Leno did like a bark for the dog, and like George Clooney was a cat or something like that.
I think Jennifer Aniston was the cat. I want to say.
Well, yeah, I thought Jennifer Aniston actually played a person.
Did she? No, I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong.
Could have been a cat person.
That's true.
Those are real people, dude.
Yeah.
Crab people. Crab people.
I really love that show.
That last special was pretty goddamn good.
Post-COVID?
No, well, that was a while ago, but the streaming wars.
Oh, the Streaming Wars one was good. Yeah, I like that one.
It's amazing that something can maintain quality after so goddamn long.
Unlike the...
Yeah, well, The Simpsons couldn't even do it for like 9
Well,
seasons.
like a six face.
I haven't seen Jennifer Aniston in a while, so I guess I can't comment on that.
Pretty attractive in her friends' days.
Which friend was she again? See, that's how...
Which friend was she?
Rachel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel.
She's a hot one,
You're saying that just based on the name?
then. Yeah.
Okay.
No, because I do remember Rachel from Friends. I just don't remember the act.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I never watched Friends, really.
No, I was never a big fan.
I've seen it sometimes, but I haven't watched it.
I've seen the random episode here and there, but I've never attempted to watch Friends.
Oh, so far it looks fucking awesome.
It does look pretty cool.
I think it looks great, at least what we've seen so far. I'm very excited for it.
Ulysses, do you order from the bottom friendly menu?
No, top friendly.
Top friendly
Yeah.
menu? Well, according to that commercial, tops can eat whatever they want.
Yeah.
Bottoms can't?
No.
No, you
I
gotta
don't
be...
think that's how that works.
Yeah,
well, it depends on...
well, they said you can, but if you want to have some good clean fun, you gotta order from the bottom friendly.
Does everybody know what we're talking about? The Postmates? The Pride Month
Seen
Postmates?
Postmates ad? Corbin, have you seen it?
I heard about it. I've not actually.
Basically, it's an entire commercial about what food you should eat if you don't want to poop on dick.
If you want to get your poopy on the big.
Yeah.
Well,
So let's advertise food while talking about people uncontrollably shitting during anal sex.
It really changed my feelings about the words good, clean fun.
Meanwhile, the Germans are like, well, what food do we eat then?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won.
What is
Yeah, their Germans are over there complaining. He's like, "What? No poop on my dinner? You better not eat sushi before you came over to there."
Oh, the Last of Us remake? It's superfluous.
Didn't it just...
Wait, was that the food or the activity?
What?
Five Guys?
I meant the food.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying. You better eat Five Guys before you come over to dinner in Germany.
But
You gotta eat Five Guys so you can do Five Guys.
yeah, that's the joke I was trying to make. No, the Last of Us remake, it's like kind of superfluous because that is not... No, yeah, like it's not that old of a game.
Right,
and
or Shitzel.
Shitzel. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's the Shitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel!
Wiener Schnitzel, there you go.
That made my day.
But no, that Last of Us remake, it's unnecessary, but I don't know. It's not an old game. It holds up really well. I guess the one thing I'll say is that like it's a game that depends on the emotion of the storytelling landing, and so like if you can upgrade it to have the hyper realistic faces, it will make the story land better. So I don't know. I can see an argument for and against it.
But what if we could give it like faces from like Assassin's Creed Unity?
Why would you want to?
It would make the story more compelling if they're faceless monsters.
You mean if they didn't have a face?
The 1 hour I've wasted playing that game, and half of the clips, half of the characters that were talking in the scenes did not show up or did not have heads. The clothes and everything else was there. Their weapons were 3 feet to the right.
They're just invisible. They're such good assassins you couldn't see them.
The assassins in Assassin's Creed have never been good assassins.
They didn't even have to hold their weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely not been... I don't remember carrying out any, like...
Even in the good games.
Yeah.
Like being stealthy was never, like, actually a significant...
Yeah, you were not that kind of assassin, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was always strange they didn't at least try to incorporate some of, like, the Hitman mechanics.
Right.
I mean, they never really changed the mechanics at all until Origin.
That's true.
Yeah,
Then they made it less assassin.
Yeah, I definitely got less assassiny after that.
I guess
the games did become ungodly long.
Yes.
That's the other.
So you got your money.
Yeah.
If a game gives you 300 hours of content...
Ezra Miller has to be the best villain the DCU's had. That's true.
Yeah. You kill a man from 5 feet away with no weapon and my face closed.
Weren't their faces just missing, but then their like eyeballs and mouths were like pasted onto the back of their hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they look like horrifying Mars Attacks aliens.
Yes, they did look like those Mars Attacks.
They should make it an Mars Attacks. Axe Creed.
Axe, I'd play that. That'd be how you'd get me back into that series.
I mean, at least that'd be an actually interesting change up from what they usually do.
They do need to have a more interesting historical setting. They really need to change it up, do something totally unexpected. I'm not sure what though.
I mean, that's why Egypt was cool when they did it, but then they went
back to Greece.
See, I want something like way more unexpected.
1920s.
Like Indica.
Well, they've actually said they won't do anything like post the invention of cars.
Right.
I don't know why, but
that's kind of dumb.
Well, and considering that the original plan for Assassin's Creed was 3 games.
Yeah.
Right, 1 and 2 that we got, and then the third one.
Mayans,
Mayans, Aztec, or Incan. It's just something.
One of the things that we suggested actually a while ago was that they should do like Latin America at the time the first conquistadors showed up.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be really interesting.
Or like India. Or,
India could be very cool.
Lots of cool places.
You know what would be an awesome game? I don't know if it'd be an Assassin's Creed game, but they need to do something like Polynesian. Like you could literally be like sailing from one island. Yeah, right. Sailing from like one island to the next. Have you ever seen?
Is there a button to shit your pants in front of the Pope though?
Have you ever seen the star maps
that the Polynesians used to navigate.
Yes, I have.
They're
Those are fucking cool as
wild,
shit, dude.
Super cool. Just twine wrapped around to like signify, but like literally they could hold it up to the sky and they could go from like New Zealand to Easter Island and somehow not get lost in the Pacific.
From El Dorado.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean they've dipped their toe very much into the fantasy element now for a couple of games in a
slap
row.
gods around.
Did you see they found a new civilization in the Amazon?
Oh.
Using like that ground penetrating radar. They've been flying over the Amazon and they found ruins of an unknown civilization.
What'd they find?
They haven't dug it up yet, so they just know that there are ruins there.
There's
They
just
need to go
something,
out
Like,
and
how
start
big is it?
excavating.
Like, do they know anything?
It's a
about it?
pretty good size. It's a couple cities, and they're pretty good size.
Do they know what age they're at?
I think they're like kind of contemporaneous with the Mayans, I think,
Okay.
or something like that. But yeah, no, they're you can go check that out and actually start digging it out.
Yeah,
There's some crazy stuff in the Amazon.
it's amazing how like extensive and advanced native civilizations the Americans actually were.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Rainforest civilizations. Like that's like when you see like Angkor Wat and like the Khmer Empire that was there in Cambodia. It's just mind blowing that they could sustain agriculture in rainforest zones like that in order to support massive population. You shouldn't be able to grow enough food in that.
Well, look at the Incas. They lived in mountains and drinking forests. They
Yeah.
managed to do a good job.
Well, the Inca farming system was genius. They were impervious to famine, basically, because they grew at multiple altitudes. They would grow different crops at multiple altitudes. So if crops failed at one area, they'd have a totally different set of crops. They also they bring potatoes up super high in the Andes.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
I mean, why not? I mean, Machu Picchu is crap.
Didn't they just find a Spanish treasure galleon with like $13 billion worth of gold on it?
Yeah, they did. Also, Street Fighter 6. I've never been a Street Fighter guy, but I mean, is anyone a Street Fighter fan?
I like Street Fighter. I haven't played one in a long time.
It's like back in the day of like 2 for you.
Probably two,
2, maybe 3.
3, but I don't remember. I think like literally playing Street Fighter in arcades.
Yeah. No, that was a long time ago now. I was always on Mortal Kombat instead, and I feel like a lot of people were kind of like one or the other at the time. Graphically, though, I mean, it looks pretty. I'm probably not going to play it myself, but see, now I'd be into if Capcom wants to do a new like fighting game, they should bring back Darkstalkers. That was cool.
Darkstalkers.
Yeah, it was like a fighting game. It was goofy and kind of cartoony, but it was like Frankenstein and a mummy and Van Dracula and like, but it was like
It was like the Dark Universe.
no.
When are they, Sage? Come on, man. When are they going to do that Hasbro cinematic universe?
Yeah.
That's been dead for a long
I've been
time.
waiting.
Alex.
I've been waiting.
Well,
man.
don't hold your
But
breath.
Where's my Tonka Trucks movie?
I want
You want to see Adam Sandler's farting Tonka trucks?
I do.
what I want there to be is
Netflix would pay good money for that.
They would. It's not good money, but they would pay it.
That's true. What I want there to be is like a Hasbro Avengers, right? Where you got like My Little Pony, and
Yeah,
like,
Knights of the Magical Light.
yep, and like Magic the
No,
Gathering,
not Vision.
and like all that stuff just jumbled together, you know?
Oh, what? You're gonna draw a line at Visionaries?
Dude, I hate the movie.
Well, I do too, but none of these things are that
I
good.
mean, come on, Visionary is at least as good as the other things we mentioned.
G.I. Joe's better than Visionaries.
When's the last time you actually watched a G.I. Joe?
I'm saying
G.I. Joe
conceptually.
sucks.
I'm saying
Conceptually, but in execution, the actual show.
No, the show sucks, but
Right.
you could make a good G.I. Joe
Would you?
movie. Nobody's tried.
Could you?
It's just like
People have
you're
tried,
making
I feel
Mission
like.
Impossible, basically, or like any other type of generic action movie.
That doesn't sound good.
But it's better than anything you could do with Visionaries. Could you make a mediocre movie about the Visionaries?
Well, what if you made it like a Lord of the Rings, but with Visionaries?
Why would that
That
work?
wouldn't work. Yeah. I wanted a Humanoids movie, dude.
Yeah, I wanted a Humanoids movie.
That's what we need to bring back if we're going to bring back a Hasbro franchise.
the rights for Inhumanoid probably cost nothing. That was like local TV. Like that wasn't even.
Well, it's Hasbro. Oh, definitely owns it.
Hasbro owns it.
Yeah, they made because they made. I mean, they also made
they
the
were
toys.
making the toys.
Yeah.
So it would cost you something.
I don't know, but they don't want to do anything with it. It was way too dark to be a kids show. Like they shouldn't have even tried that. And made it.
Well, I'm glad they did though.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the best show.
Kid shows
It's
to
the
be
best
dark.
cartoon to come out of the '80s for sure that I've ever seen. But
God, that was a great. Anybody who hasn't seen Inhumanoids should go check that
you
shit
can
out.
track it down. It's not the easiest thing to find. But
I actually
random.
I did.
I know you have the DVD.
Yeah, I got the whole set.
Yeah.
Shit's great. Remember when they introduced the French character Jean-Luc Croissant?
Yeah, I like that guy.
Here they're bringing back Kevin Smith's He-Man.
Oh, He-Man? Oh, I mean, okay.
Okay.
Was that the new one?
I thought
Yeah.
nobody liked it.
I didn't watch it. I don't like the original He-Man.
So
Yeah.
why do I give a
Who
shit?
gives a fuck about
Like
He-Man?
people are like, he ruined He-Man, and I'm like,
Like,
He-Man.
He-Man ruined itself by existing.
Yeah, He-Man sucked from the beginning.
Like, that was only ever, like, memey and silly.
Yeah.
Like, the only version of anything from He-Man I actually genuinely like is Robot Chicken Skeletor.
Yes.
I love Skeletor in Robot Chicken, and
But
that is it.
There were people who were like disgusted. They were like, "How dare you do this to He-Man?"
Well,
and I was like, "What could you do to He-Man
To make it
good.
itself?"
A
Like,
lot of it was people coming in and being angry that it was pro-feminist shit, or supposed to.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I didn't watch it. I just know the '80s cartoon.
I didn't watch it either.
I did not like.
I mean, yeah, I think it's like you could only go up with it. So like, I even if it's not for me, like, you can't make it worse.
You can't tell
People
me
that watch He-Man are stoners.
You can't tell me.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Kevin Smith, although he's done a lot of stuff that I haven't liked over time, I genuinely like most of what he's done in his career. You can't tell me that he's not more talented and able to make a better show than whoever the fuck made He-Man in the '80s. Like,
Yeah, no, yeah.
When can we get a She-Ra show?
We've had
They
She-Ra
have She-Ra
shows,
shows.
multiple She-Ra shows.
Well, like new
I mean, there's the original,
There's a
and then
new
there's.
She-Ra.
I know there's the original, obviously. I mean,
No,
No, they did another one. They did it before. Oh shit! Goddamn.
They had, yeah, they had
That's my
a new,
fault.
they had a new She-Ra.
That She-Ra got a new show before He-Man
Oh,
got a
good.
new show.
Yeah.
Are they like really fast, so we call them Thunder Thighs cats?
No, but I've watched that. Yeah, I don't know.
Who's asking for these?
I don't know, but I guess it's just the '80s.
Just want to reuse
The '80s nostalgia is out of control.
Can we
I
get another
pretend
Ewok? Okay, I know what we want. We need another
No.
Star
No,
Ewoks,
we
Ewoks.
No,
Yes,
we
I
need
want-
Ewoks, the raggedy Ewoks.
No, we need that shit.
They did a couple. Yeah, that's what I thought. They did at least two.
Didn't realize she was so popular.
More popular.
It's on Disney now too. Go watch it.
I do think it's
We
weird.
did watch some of it.
I do think it's
Oh yeah,
weird.
That
Oh, yeah.
sounds confusing.
Yeah,
It was. They went to hell in the
Yeah.
first episode.
I do think it's
It's
weird.
absolutely wild.
Couple Thundercats.
Yeah.
Really?
I do think it's weird. I get not having the over sexualized cartoon characters. Like, I understand like when you want to bring them back and they don't need to have like big, massive tits.
You mean the fucking M&Ms that aren't sexy enough?
But it's also come down to where it's like you're sexist if your cartoon character is not flat chested. Like,
Another He-Man show on Netflix, not made by Kevin.
Oh wait, there's two
Wait, there's
running
two.
concurrently.
There's two.
That seems pointless to me.
Okay, why the fuck are there so many shows based on these properties now?
yeah, when there's great original content out there, like
Centaur World, yeah.
Fuck you.
Corbin, do you know about Centaur World?
I have heard you all talk about it, but I do not know details.
Imagine hell.
I'm gonna make you watch some Centaur.
Before the night's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And you'll be dead tomorrow morning.
It's like the Ring video, except it gives you 7 seconds. 7 days.
And I'll make you watch that bottom from
Ugh. God, I still cannot believe that.
it made me hungry.
Did it?
No. No.
Yeah, unless you are German. I'm off to sleep. Take care. It's been hilarious and fun as always. Have a great night, guys.
Hey, have a good night.
Thank you for stopping in, Horton.
Yeah,
We
always
appreciate
good to have
you.
you in,
Yep.
chat.
Fun time as always.
A Netflix show.
If you're streaming tomorrow, I'll try and pop into your stream.
Yeah, you want to watch it?
I don't think so.
Oh man, I didn't find you guys a terrible Netflix show this week.
I know, Alex. I'm disappointed.
I'm watching
This
too much
week will
of
just be exposing Corbin to
Yeah.
the ones you've already exposed us
Just
to.
been watching The Boys.
Is it cake? Was it that one?
Yeah.
Oh god, I watched a bunch of shitty Netflix shows the other day. I can't remember. What
They make some of the
Did you watch The Floor is Lava?
No, I thought about it. I spent 5 minutes looking at that thing. And
Did you
decided
watch
at the
Making
end.
Fun?
I watched Scare Tactics.
Oh, that
with
one's
Tracy
terrible
Jordan. Nailed it.
too. Oh, that one's
Oh, I
People are
hate that
shitty at
one.
baking,
That one.
And they have the recipe next to them the whole time. I do not understand.
Have you seen Best Leftovers Ever?
It just pains me physically that Alex even knows this many of them.
I would watch
Fuck.
that though.
Fuck.
It's just a cooking show where they're like, here's some lo mein mashed potatoes and a half a sandwich. What can you make with this?
Oh my
Lo
God.
mein, mashed potatoes, and half a sandwich.
That's more.
I made a half lo mein sandwich with mashed potatoes.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, their ideas for shows are pretty garbage. Making Fun is one of the dumbest ones. And they made children pitch ideas for inventions to this
To a man
guy.
who supposedly can't stand children and wants something to do with them,
Yep.
but does everything they say.
I really think it's like some sort of weird prison sentence they put this guy in.
Yeah, it does seem like a layer of hell or something.
Yeah.
But then these kids,
It's the one that Dante stayed away from.
these kids like pitch an idea for an invention, and then the guy has
And
to
he has
choose
to
to
make
make
it.
it, and
Yep.
then him and his team have to like engineer and.
Well, I thought the
design
point was that
whatever.
they don't get a choice.
Yeah, they don't get a choice. Well, they decide which invention they're
Yeah.
gonna make.
Oh,
They don't
okay.
get a choice on whether they're gonna make one.
See
Hey,
ya.
have a good night, afternoon, tune.
He doesn't want to hear about your fucking
Netflix.
Terrible.
Yeah, I
Show.
doesn't want to hear about that. Oh, unless he was saying goodnight to Horton, maybe.
Oh,
Oh, that's possible.
but no. So they pitch these ideas to this guy who has this shop where he can build, a decent amount of stuff.
Machinist or-
Yeah.
And then he can build shit like a T-Rex, like a giant wooden
Excuse me.
T-Rex that shits tacos.
Or or is it vomits tacos into a toilet?
That's right.
So then they sit there and just.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, no worries. They sit there and they like design it and they draw it. Like if you're watching like
And then there's the aggressively gay guy who talks about he fucks the wood cutting machine.
yeah, but they call
Oh,
him
yeah.
Canadian Pat. He's French Canadian and then like flamboyantly gay, and then he talks about how he likes to have sex with his lady.
Yeah. That was in the show.
But it's a show for kids.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I think it's a show for no one.
That is definitely
I
the
don't
case.
see how you could watch that show. Like
Like that's what we should make prisoners watch. Like that'll make you stay
That's
away
the
from
real
crime.
path to reform.
Yeah.
you have to watch
That's
the whole.
deterrent.
You have
I'm not
to
gonna go
an
back and watch
endless
that show
series,
again.
an endless series of Netflix originals.
There are some good ideas you all have that you have all talked about, so I can totally not steal them. Well, what kind of good ideas?
Yeah,
Good ideas
for prisoners
for a
and
while.
torture, or like...
Yeah.
My idea for a prison has always been just marshmallows.
Just marshmallows?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
marshmallows.
Everything, just marshmallows. You ask for something, all you can get is marshmallows.
Would
You
you
want
get
toilet?
chipped with marshmallows? Though?
You want toilet
Yes.
paper?
Marshmallows.
Like, just marshmallows. You want dinner? Just
Much
marshmallows. Soap? I don't care. That's all you get is fucking marshmallows.
Well, to be honest, it's probably better than like the rotting, like bug-infested crap they serve in prison.
I don't know, man. I feel like you would get tired of marshmallows pretty quick. I'd make you walk down the food line, like the buffet line, and it'd just be just marshmallows.
What do you
Well,
think?
Alex, they actually took your idea for Lucky Charms.
Of marshmallows.
Would
Oh,
you
yeah,
actually
yeah.
meet a person's daily caloric requirement for
I don't give a
marshmallows?
fuck.
Well, you are.
That's not the point.
That is not the point.
I'm wondering how many
The point
marshmallows
is
would you actually
punishment.
eat? Because if it's a lot, wouldn't this actually
Oh.
be good for you?
For a reality show.
I've seen a couple. I can tell you my favorite reality shows ever made.
The one where they put them in the fake space ship and tell them that they go into
Yeah,
space.
That was a British one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they literally put a call out. They said, submit. We are looking for the most gullible people alive. If you have a gullible friend, tell them, suggest they come on the show. And they found these people, and they told them that they were going to be launched into space what they did was they put them in a capsule that they loaded on a plane, which they flew in circles above England, and then they landed it again and just pushed the capsule into a warehouse, and they just left the people in there for like a month. And they had 2 people in there that were like employees of the studio or whatever.
Yeah, so 2 actors, basically.
Neither of them knew the other one was there, but their job was anytime somebody was like, "Hey, how come we're not in like 0 gravity?" to like bullshit them and convince them that they were still actually in space.
That's good shit.
That was good shit.
That might be the greatest one of all time.
I don't know, man. That Dutch one where the 2 guys had to compete for the liver. There's like 2 guys had like liver failure, and this one woman was like the donor, and it was like almost a Bachelor type show where they had to like get to know her so she could decide who was gonna get a transplant.
That's still better than our healthcare.
They both got livers. That was the twist at the end. Is it was like, well, actually, you guys are both getting livers.
I mean, I think the show would have been pretty widely panned if they had done that.
Yeah. I think so. I think so.
Dance for your liver.
That was widely panned regardless. Yeah. Or there's that Russian reality show where they gave you a free car. But
I can't believe it's not potatoes.
No, they gave you a free car, but when you drove away, they called it in as stolen.
And you can keep it if you can get away from the cops.
You can keep the car.
That's awesome. That's ridiculous.
It was sponsored by the Russian government as a way to prove that you can't get away with stealing a car.
And people got away with it, didn't they?
One guy got away. Everybody else got caught. But yeah, the government was like, this way we can show people how hard it is to steal a car.
Well, it is if you're not in the military.
I don't know. What's a good idea for a reality show, Sage?
I mean, I think the Just Marshmallows one, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. I'd watch that show.
That's just always been my idea for a good way to run a prison.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm so anti-reality shows.
Down to the commissary, and it's just shelves of marshmallows.
For different prices.
Yeah, just different size packages, whatever, but it's just marshmallows.
That was like a BFG one.
It did. Didn't do nearly as much damage as one, but...
No.
I think I would be good at making realities.
Bring back Fear Factor. They were kind of reaching with Fear Factor towards the end, I feel like.
Yeah, you have to just start repeating.
Eventually it just became eat animal penises.
Right.
Yeah.
They really...
Well, that's exactly why after 18 months it's come back.
More gone on TV.
You know what? If it's Carl, I will watch Carl Pilkington
that was fun.
any reality show, though.
I don't know if it's really like that impressive if you just have this Fear Factor show where like any dude from like Saudi Arabia could come on and just win easily.
Yeah, because it's like, wow, it's not that weird to me, so...
Yeah. Like, they made Carl eat that camel dick in Egypt. Because that was just like a normal restaurant item.
It was only funny because, I guess you'd have to exclusively get people that are not...
Don't want to eat this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would exclusively have to people...
You have to
people
sign
that
on the
want,
survey
right?
beforehand. Do you like eating dick?
No,
Not
turn
in
it
a
down.
sexual way, for instance.
Right.
Oh, there was that Japanese reality show where the guy had to survive entirely on magazine sweepstakes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so they gave him thousands of magazines where he had to fill out and like mail it in order to get food. And he's just like a contest where you could like win a year's supply of like bottled water. So they didn't give him any food or anything. He eventually broke out. He freaked out and like broke
out
down
of
the
the reality
door.
show?
He broke down the door of the apartment
Oh, shit.
that he was in
God
or
damn.
whatever to escape because he was tired of eating like novelty.
Tom Cruise's stunts? Well, that would be scary as shit.
There would be people who would do that for
And die.
yeah, no, at the point where reality TV is allowed to have life waivers is the point where we get some wild fucking television.
Well, I'd say we just bring back Gladiator.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be one.
We got asked that earlier.
Yeah, Horton brought that up too. I mean, like...
That is.
That's weird, but if it works, you know.
I
sure.
do think.
I mean,
Lady
fuck it, be
Gaga
experimental.
pull off Harley Quinn. I don't think that's a stretch.
I think Lady Gaga could do that.
Yeah.
She's actually not a half bad actor.
And now that Tony.
No,
Bennett,
she's not bad.
Now that Tony Bennett, hung it up at like 95 or whatever.
He was Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Tony Bennett was Harley Quinn.
No.
He hung up his Jester costume in '95.
No,
I'm
Lady
surprised
Gaga.
he did it that long.
Yeah, I'd be really
Gaga.
interested to see him as Harley Quinn in 95.
Lady Gaga and
That's all I want to see now.
Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett were like doing a like joint performance until Tony Bennett retired because he was fucking 95.
I mean, you kind of got to at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, that's only how long Stan Lee actually lived.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart's not even that old. He should probably retire.
I hope he dies before then.
I don't know.
Before he retires?
Oh, no, just before he... I mean, I guess his
Before
career
he
is
makes
already...
more
As,
Star Trek.
yeah. I mean, his career is about as just destroyed, I feel like, as it could be. At this point.
I've lost respect for him since he played the poop.
Yes, it will be Chicago. Yeah, that's true. As soon as he played that poop emoji, I was like, all right.
No, I've lost even more respect for him
Oh, since
after
then.
he played
Yeah,
the
well,
poop emoji.
yeah.
Like he's just shat on his own career even harder. Like.
Yeah.
Mervin, have we asked you what you thought of Star Trek Picard?
I have not seen much of it.
Okay.
Ooh, well, I mean, I feel like maybe we
I'm
should
a big Trekkie,
tell you
and
about
I've
it.
somewhat avoided it because of
Busy
that.
Earth. Ooh.
Well, not even because of that, but it's just like I feel like I don't know. Why not tell new stories in the universe instead of
I mean, that's a good point.
continuing
That
back
is a
to
good
the
point.
same characters
Well, that's like Star
over and
Wars.
over and over and over?
Nobody can ever do anything new with these
Right.
established.
Or the
franchises.
Matrix. Like, why'd they have to do Neo again?
Well, that was such a blatant
That movie was garbage.
But I'm just saying, like, that's the problem with all of these movies,
Yeah.
is they can't explore their universe beyond the characters that were in the
Because they're like,
initial
what sells,
movie.
what's marketable? These characters that people already know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad to watch. I mean, yeah. I mean, like
Should I watch TNG before Picard?
I'd
Don't
say,
watch Picard.
yeah, don't. I'd say, yeah,
But you
just
want
don't
to
watch it.
TNG, don't-
TNG.
Just maybe there's a lot you should skip though.
Okay, but I would argue that if you can appreciate bad sci-fi, like if you liked Stargate significantly, right? Because they have some terrible episodes. Some of the worst episodes of Star Trek are the best episodes of Star Trek.
Oh, just because they're funny.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, I agree with that.
That
Absolutely.
terrible episode of
Absolutely
the
garbage.
Packlids, that was hilarious.
So which one?
The Packlids,
The Packlids.
remember?
Oh
Well,
my
we
God.
look for things.
The
aliens.
Packlids?
Will you
Okay,
make
so
us
lower
go?
decks,
I do not believe that the
have
fucking
become
Klingons would
like
fall for
main
that.
power.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Because
Yeah,
they've
remember
stolen
those?
all of the tech from
Yep.
everybody else.
Did you know that, Sage?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
In one of the newer Star Trek shows,
So,
there were
like,
those dumbass
Rick and
aliens.
Morty,
Yeah, the ones that are. I mean, yeah.
Those are like the supreme threat to the galaxy now.
They've stolen.
Okay, I'm sorry,
just
but those were
mashed
clearly
16
people with Down
weapons.
syndrome in that episode.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's what they were doing.
Terrible. It's awful.
But, I mean, say, how dangerous would it be if someone with Down syndrome had nuclear?
I mean, you don't make a bad point, but would Klingons like get tricked by that,
Or Romulans.
I'm just saying,
or Vulcans who are supposed to be goddamn geniuses?
what Corbin said is that, like, they have all the most powerful weapons
Right.
in the universe.
Right.
So you aren't
But how'd they
talking
get
about
them?
people who are...
They
They just, like...
They just do.
Well, a lot
But how'd they
people
fool
by
the
having
Klingons?
Underestimate. It's like Rain Man, dude. Like, everybody underestimated Rain Man until he was counting those cards.
that
Like,
is what kind
that's
of
why.
what kills
That's
it.
why he wasn't getting kicked out of the
Underestimated
casino
Pac-Man.
because they were like, "This guy's a moron."
To
He's
some
just
extent,
lucky.
Starfleet just kind of kept giving them shit because they
Yeah.
felt bad,
Yeah,
and then they.
I mean, in
But
that-
the point of the episode is never
Yeah,
give
like, that's
someone
how we
who
created
created
original-
any help.
that's how we created ISIS.
Yes.
Well, but
We got like, just look at these morons. They need some more weapons.
but in the original episode in TNG,
They get outsmarted these other aliens.
yeah, they literally
It
said
wasn't
they
just
just
the Federation.
they
Right,
just
no,
tricked
true.
the Klingons, and the
Like
Klingons
the
took pity
Federation, I
on
can
them.
see being bilked into helping somebody. But
The
like,
Federation,
Yeah.
yes.
So not-
You've seen that movie, The
Or the
Score,
Russian.
right? Say,
The Score.
The Score. That's that like Marlon Brando's last movie with Edward Norton. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh, I haven't actually.
Oh, okay. Well, Edward Norton pretends to be mentally disabled, like
Right.
the whole movie, and then he tricks everybody into giving him all. They're like going to rob a bank or whatever, and he's just
Right.
kind of this employee. I think it's a museum. They're going to rob this museum, and he's an employee at the museum, and they think he's just
like, that he's just mentally disabled and
Right,
they don't have to be worried about him.
Right, but there were Klingons working at this museum. Again, is my point.
Well, I don't know.
In the context of Klingons and their general behavior and attitude towards other species and just anyone,
Or the Romulans, yeah.
or the Romulans, or the Vulcans.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yes, they make a logical argument. Let's give them all our weapons.
Edward Norton fools everybody, and he gets all the money.
Okay, but that's Edward Norton.
And then he gets to be like, well, who's retarded now?
But the difference there is that Edward Norton was pretending to be.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, he wasn't actually. The Packlids were actually.
Yeah, they weren't pretending.
well, I'm just saying, like, you underestimate somebody because, they're mentally disabled, but, like, maybe they're handy.
Okay, but again, he was faking it.
Oh
But maybe they're handy capable.
Oh my god.
I hate that term so much. So condescending.
It's terrible.
I don't know, dude. I'm just saying, like, different doesn't always mean, inferior.
No, I
They're
know.
different.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Klingons wouldn't believe it.
They're different. The Packlids are differently able.
Oh, yes, and I don't think Klingons would care.
I don't know.
Warfaring, tribalistic
The
Klingons
Klingons are
would not
as
give a
PC
shit.
as the Federation.
They're not, so why would they...
They're just like, I don't give a fuck, go fight the Federation with this
But they
shit.
weren't fighting the Federation. They're just stealing everybody's shit and then ganging up on everybody.
Yeah.
The Klingons wouldn't put up with
absolutely.
that.
That's true.
They'd be like, we gotta make an example out of you.
I don't know, maybe
the
that-
next season of that show is gonna have like a big war event. Maybe they'll even do a movie for it, and it'll be
The lower decks?
a war event. Yeah, no, they won't do it. I don't think.
I don't know, man.
It's gonna be like the Deep Space Nine of Neutron.
Okay, Deep Space Nine was a slow burn because I actually ended up loving Deep Space Nine again. partly
People have
because
told
a
me
lot
it
of the
gets good if
episodes
you
are
watch, like, 3
absolutely-
seasons.
But until then, you have to put up with the
Ridiculous.
Space Aphasia episode.
Well, I love the Spaceship Ninja episode.
Yeah, no, that's what.
That one's hilarious.
But also that they took this beloved side character from TNG and absolutely gave him the worst possible life ever. Chief O'Brien on that show, every other episode is about how his life sucks, and that's hilarious.
How do you
He was
feel
Charlie's
about-
dad in It's Always Sunny. Like his actual bio dad they introduced finally. It was fucking O'Brien from Star Trek.
How do you feel about Scott Bakula though?
Oh, fuck it. It's fuck Star Trek Enterprise. That's so
You don't
terrible.
like that one?
You didn't like Tucker? You didn't like that the
Tucker.
Vulcan chick who took her clothes off every episode?
Or about how they had to spend like
Oil each
20
other
minutes.
up every time they got on
Yeah.
on and off.
Yeah, just long scenes of them oiling each other.
Oh, man. That was so bad.
That's before internet porn existed.
No, it wasn't.
How
No,
long
yeah,
was that
well, it
show?
That was like mid-2000s.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
Well, it still took a long time.
It was on at the same time as Smallville, and you can tell because of the opening credits.
Yeah.
Oh god, the opening credits of that show are so bad. What's stupid? What's it? The Santa Maria or whatever.
Something
Some
like
Columbus shit.
That's the one that ends with the end of the series.
Yeah,
It show the
it's
whole
rad.
time.
Yeah, it was a historical reenactment that, Riker and Geordi were watching on their own TV or something like that.
Sounds like the same code word.
I mean, it's not too dissimilar.
You gotta just not do that. Like, nothing is a more disappointing way to end a show than being like, it was in a snow globe the whole time.
Well, I'm just saying it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Just any story where it's ending is it never happened.
Is that more disappointing
Yeah, watch
than
all the
just
Star Trek
ending like The
movies.
Sopranos?
So, Corbin, would you also...
I like the ending. I've never understood why people were like, I need to know what happened.
No,
to
I
The Sopranos.
also-
I always thought the ending.
It's
to
an
that show was
interesting
legit.
storytelling.
Well, I think I think what makes the Sopranos ending work is that it's the kind of story if a story like, let's say, Lost, right? And the reason that was sucked as an ending is because it was all building to something, and then
Or Game of
there was
Thrones.
no way. Or Game of Thrones is you had a narrative building towards something. Sopranos, when it starts, is not really. It's not there's no journey of Tony Soprano becoming Tony Soprano.
Yeah,
the first episode
no.
starts and he's already Tony Soprano. You're just kind of coming into this dude's life as it already exists.
Well, and I think
Or compared to Breaking Bad, there's a journey the character is going on.
Absolutely.
Tony Soprano's not going on a journey. He's just living his
What I
life.
take from the ending of Sopranos is
maybe he dies, maybe he doesn't matter. He's going to die eventually.
Well, the idea that that's his life is he always has to be concerned about that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ending it at that point, and it's like if he survives, it doesn't matter. Clearly, he's going to be killed. He's going to be killed at some point.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why I think that's
kind of what I got from the ending. Is like whether he dies now or not, it's kind of meaningless.
This is how it's going to end.
Yeah, it's like
it'll end like this at some point, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So Corbin, would you recommend that after you watch the Africa Planet episode of TNG?
Oh my god, Code of Honor is absolutely horrendous.
Written by an actual white supremacist.
Yeah, no, completely.
Was it really?
Yeah, really.
Complete mess.
Ooh.
There you go.
Like literally, like
Yes.
is
Okay. Cool.
a worse episode than most of the original series. Worst episode.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Say what you want about the original series, and I can say quite a bit. At least there wasn't anything I remember in it being like overtly racist.
Right.
And
There was the questionable decision to put Klingons in brown face, but
yeah.
At least it seemed like it maybe wasn't intentional too. Like that wasn't what they meant to do by it.
That's why I say not overtly.
Yeah.
The Africa Planet episode.
That was overt.
That was full on white supremacy.
Literal. This dude wanted this to be his version of
You remember
It
when
was literally about a planet of black people stealing white women.
Right.
That was the actual story. Yeah, people don't like to. People like to
At least
say
the
Star Trek
original-
is the smart show.
At least the original Trek was actually trying to push some boundaries. Right?
Oh yeah, like the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
interracial
First
kiss.
interracial,
Yeah.
Generational kiss and all that.
Also, first man versus lizard engagement.
Yeah, first man on lizard sex scene.
Got lizard people rights, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone heard that cat just yell, right? Yeah.
You think they're gonna have a lizard people rights movement?
Yeah, they have justice for the scalies.
I feel like if the lizard people exist, they already clearly have more rights than us. I think we're gonna have to ask for rights from the lizard people.
Yeah, probably.
Like start marching for
They're
humans.
in charge, clearly. So
Yeah.
Are they though?
yeah.
I don't know. They say
I think
they
they
are.
could do a better job than whoever's in charge right now.
Well, unless they just want our lives to be terrible.
Yeah.
Remember, Sage, you're gonna own nothing and you don't like it.
That's what Klaus Schwab keeps telling me.
That whether the World Economic Forum runs the world or not, they really don't give a shit about poor people.
Oh God! no.
Whether they're deciding the future or not, the future they see for the average person fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that Pfizer clip where he's talking, the CEO of Pfizer's talking about those pills that have chips in them, so that they can tell if you're taking your pills or not, because it'll send a signal to the insurance company
your
as soon as it hits your stomach acid. And he's like, this already exists. Imagine the compliance.
And it's literally the CEO of Pfizer saying, "We're going to put a chip in your pill."
So that we know what the...
Yeah, it's like these people listen to conspiracies for ideas of what things to do.
Absolutely.
Like where Klaus Schwab is up there and is like, the crazy thing about the fourth industrial revolution is that it changes you. It's like, you are being industrialized. Like, goddamn, dude.
You are a commodity.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, dude.
I hate Klaus Schwab.
He does say just the worst stuff. Like, nothing he says is ever like,
He's
things
the
are going to
lizard
be
person.
great.
If anyone's a lizard person, it's him.
Yeah.
He's a Bond villain, 100%. Just
A Bond version.
bald,
Gil-
German.
A
Yeah.
Bond villain who is also a lizard person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could definitely be both.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard him say anything like, and there's going to be sunshine and puppies. Which he's always like, and the great thing about the future is that you'll rent everything.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad news, man. Bad news bears.
Yeah, that they're actually like trying to scrub that video where they talk about how you're going to own nothing and like it, and how
Oh, yeah.
People react.
and how
Well, they put out a book called The Great Reset, and then when people started saying, guys, there's this thing called The Great Reset, and
then
it's really
they said
bad,
that-
and then they say that's a conspiracy.
Yeah, it's like
Even though
they're-
they released a book titled that.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird when they say it's a conspiracy theory when you can like watch, you can see politicians talking about it.
Or look up, like, the World Economic Forum website, and it says The Great Reset.
And then they're like, the Great Reset's a conspiracy theory. I don't know. They do. All I know is that the elite would really like for your standard of living to be a whole lot lower than it is now.
Right.
They're talking about meat as a luxury.
Dude, they're already calling beef a luxury item.
Yeah, beef is
It's
already
food meat.
beef's already being considered a luxury meat, but they were like meat will be a occasional indulgence, not a staple.
We're about to start getting those Snowpiercer cockroach bars.
Yep.
Oh, they want
They
you to
want
eat those
to eat
bugs.
Yeah,
They
do want
really want people to eat bugs.
They've got a whole angle on it now where they're like, some people in Southeast Asia eat bugs, so you're racist
If you don't want to eat
bugs.
bugs. That's straight up their argument now. Is it is racist not to not want to eat bugs. That's actually what they say.
I mean, I just hope they make it so we good people.
Yeah, we
I just want them to like. I'm okay if they want to go this whole like you need to eat bugs route. Fine, but it's got to be shrimp and lobster. Like it's fine if they're going to be like
Those
if
are
they're gonna be-
bugs.
Those are
They are.
bugs.
They're sea bugs.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, they're
Lobsters
the same
are
family as
100
cockroaches and shit.
Well, lobsters
They're
are centipedes.
arthropods.
Lobsters are centipedes. That is the
Lobsters
closest
are, yeah.
genetic companion, like
Oh,
other
God.
species in the world to a lobster is a
But
centipede.
they're crustaceans, though.
It's still the
Yeah, but
closest
they're-
genetic thing you can
Their
get.
crustaceans are distantly related to other groups of arthropods. Yeah, but like,
Right.
you know,
But I mean, they're
they're
basically
very different.
They're kind of sea bugs. They're
Crabs and
kinda-
spiders.
They're kind of underwater bugs. I'm just saying, like you can
If you want
grow
to be
shrimp.
practical, though,
Yeah, you're right. They are their own family. But if you, I mean, but you can grow shrimp.
Fine,
You can
they're
farm-
cousins to
You can
spiders.
farm shrimp with basically the same necessary input as you need to farm cockroaches. I'm just not going to
Yeah.
eat cockroaches. You want to tell me I got to eat shrimp all the time? I'm not
Popcorn
going to complain.
cockroaches.
I like shrimp.
You don't
I
want-
don't want to eat cockroaches.
you don't want to eat popcorn
no,
roach.
I don't want to eat.
Popcorn roach.
I don't want to eat cockroaches.
Finger
I don't
gun.
want to eat mealworms and.
But they have
crickets and-
meal in the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know.
What's the animal you take in a fight? That's not much.
Definitely a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them are
Most
all
of
in
them.
there.
Almost any fish.
Yeah,
As long as I'm on land.
Yeah, that's true. Like, what are they gonna do? Flop there?
I don't know. I mean, like you
Magic
put.
barbecue
I mean, in the
flash.
water, I'm out of my element. So, like, probably couldn't fight. I definitely can't fight any sharks.
You can punch it in the nose. That might work.
You know, if an octopus got a hold of you, like real good,
If
you
you're
didn't
not
see it coming.
you're done. But
Yeah, if you don't see it coming, especially
Depends on how big the octopus.
well, yeah.
No,
well,
I know,
poisonous.
Those little,
Poisonous.
in the
those little,
water.
like calamari you get at like.
Well, yeah, not
like an Italian.
The blue ring
Like an
octopus would fuck
Italian.
you up.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I could stomp on those things you see at like Italian restaurants.
Sure,
They
for
can
sure,
feel,
for
though.
sure.
They're sneaky little bastards.
But what are they gonna do to me?
Well, blue ring octopus will just kill you.
Yeah, well, I know, but I'm talking about like a little calamari.
Well, yeah, they're not going to do anything. They'd be scared
Like,
of
they can, they're like, I don't tug on my toes, I guess.
you.
What if you lose a toe?
How is, I don't think it's strong enough to take a toe.
Actually, they got pretty sharp little beaks.
Yeah, I can bite one off, maybe.
Just gangrene.
Like nibble a little chunk of my foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna lose in a fight.
What if a bunch of them gang up on you? Like just a swarm
It's
of
like
little
the hive,
calamari.
it's like the swarm of gnomes all over.
Yeah.
But the octopus?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the octopus is not getting anywhere close to his dick, unlike the gnomes.
Right.
Sure.
Alex only likes the garden variety of hentai.
The garden is that because
Because
of
the garden
gnomes?
gnomes, yeah.
Gotcha. Garden variety.
Yeah, I thought you'd appreciate it.
Ah, gotcha. That's fun. That's fun. That sounds like a cute little barbarian kind of scene. Like,
Yeah.
hello, like a little no English countryside gnome. Dude. Oh, like a little Tudor cottage I could burn down with the whole family inside. Get out of here, you little dog, weird ass shit.
Oh shit, Peanut's got devil horns now.
Oh shit! What happened? You're not evolved.
Yeah. Not doing much though.
Yeah. Satan nut.
I feel like I could take a manatee.
A manatee?
Yeah,
It
what's
just
it gonna do?
because it wouldn't try and fight you.
Yeah, what are you gonna do to it?
That's what I'm saying. I could take a baby seal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the question. What animal did you eat up in the water? Manatee's not going to do anything. I feel like it's the biggest animal.
I just feel like that'd be a lot of. I mean, like I'd have to bring some serious weaponry to do damage to the manatee. Like, I mean,
you just punch it in the face.
what's that gonna do? Punch
Manatees
that
have very
manatee in the
sensitive
fat
faces.
fucking face?
They have very sensitive
Do they?
faces. Yes, they do.
Okay,
We did it.
Ah,
We did it.
hell
There we go.
yeah, dude.
No, sharks have very sensitive faces.
That's true. They got all that cartilage. up in
Yeah.
them.
There's a woman who actually survived a shark attack. She just beat the shit out of it.
I have heard that they're pretty sensitive to getting whacked in the face.
Same for dogs.
What's the point of
bears.
hostiles leaving pools of acid upon death at this point?
I should
If,
go
it, if this is the end.
I don't know. I don't know what comes next. You're probably gonna go to a hospital and find out what a bad mom you were.
Or bad daughter.
Or yeah, one of the two, or both, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's literally now.
I'm my own mother.
Yeah, you repeated the bad mistakes of the... No, I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah,
You could get those to collar.
it's a good fear factor challenge.
What, fighting
But I
manatees?
need to see man.
Or just fighting something in the water.
Fighting small octopi? I don't know if this is much of a fear factor challenge.
I don't know.
Well, it might be for the manatees.
Just fighting each other.
Okay, now that I would watch if we have a show where you invite a bunch of manatees on, and they have to spend time in a tank full of humans.
That would be scary.
I think we should just. You know what I would watch? I would watch a show.
Oh shit.
I would watch a show where you just dress a bunch of manatees up like American tourists.
How long it takes for people to just determine the difference?
and just unleash them on unsuspecting marine environments.
That would be fucking.
And then we could just narrate it.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah.
pretend to be the managers.
Ooh, that'd be
It'd
fun.
like, I can't believe they don't have a Hard Rock Cafe here.
I thought you were
The
saying
doors are so small.
I thought you were gonna say we were gonna dress them up like American tourists and just have them loose in like Paris or whatever.
Oh,
Wait to see how long it would take for Parisians
People to
tell the
realize-
difference.
Well, especially if the French are the ones. I mean, it's going to take a while.
Yeah,
They probably think of anyone other than
this
themselves.
fucking manatee just rolls into a store and
The manatees are slowly just beaching and dying in Paris or whatever. And it's like, here is an Americana having like his third heart attack of the day.
now that's a reality show idea.
Yeah, I'd watch the shit out of that.
You would.
Oh yeah.
I would. That'd be great. Just be like, on this episode of Manatees Abroad. How long will it take the Cambodians to realize that the Americans aren't just exhausted and lying?
If dinosaurs existed, do you think you could kill one? I mean, a small one, sure. What's
Yeah,
Napoleon
depends on the
Light
size.
gonna do? It's
Some of
fucking
them are
chicken
tiny.
size. You could eat them.
I don't. Yeah, I
Spit
guess.
roast 'em.
It depends. Yeah, it depends
Yeah,
on which one.
guys, I ate guinea pig for the first time the other day.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's
Where?
at work.
Did you have a guinea pig and your cat killed it? And you were
No,
like,
no. It's a delicacy in Ecuador, and one of my
Yeah,
coworkers
it's
is
South-
Ecuadorian, and he
some
brought some
parts,
into work.
South America.
How was
I'd
it?
say.
I think it's really good.
I bet it is.
I'd try it.
I've eaten rabbit stew before.
That's
Yeah,
I've
it's
had
not
squirrel.
too far off from
yeah,
rabbit.
yeah. So I would imagine it's got to be at least somewhat similar.
Hey, the Romans ate mice.
It's true.
What are you gonna find on? Do you just eat the whole thing? What
They
meat
eat
is there
stuffed
to be
mice.
had?
They basically spit roast it like a pig, so yeah, you do
Yeah.
kind of just bite into it. Like it's got it, like you can still see its like face and shit.
Right.
Did you eat the whole thing?
I just got like a little bit of it. I just got like a little
Are you
piece.
supposed to eat the whole thing?
No, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be shared
Okay.
amongst like.
Well, does somebody have to eat the face? Is what I'm getting at.
I don't think anybody's actually eating the face.
That's Ulysses.
Hey, a hole's a hole, right?
Cheek muscle.
What we got? Major spinal fracture. Cause high-speed vehicle impact. Well, we know that. Difficult to engage in her physiotherapy. She's distant, irritable, and reluctant to discuss either her injury or her recovery. She makes it well. It is obvious that she is in great pain despite her medication. Coupled with the distress inherent to the loss of her mobility and in turn her career has doubtless contributed to her unwillingness to engage. However, other patients in similar situations have not reacted similarly. It is unclear to me why the patient does not wish to at least attempt to improve her quality of life. I think that's a Dahmer quote. A Dahmer quote?
I've heard meat is meat before, and I've watched multiple Dahmer documentaries. I can't tell you if that's true, but that seems like...
It sounds right.
Correlated. Yeah. Seems like something you would say.
Well, with quotes these days, this could have been Abraham Lincoln who said that.
Right.
I definitely think he was historically known to be a cannibal.
Was he?
Yeah, he always kept, some severed limbs under his hat.
That's why he was so tall.
Yeah.
He had body parts in there.
Just for a snack meal.
Yeah, he had to pull him out while he was in the Oval Office, man. Like, how else? You couldn't just bring a bag of M&Ms in there, right? I mean,
True. Well, especially back then when the M&Ms couldn't show their ankles.
Well, yeah, Tucker Carlson would hate ancient M&Ms too.
Well, why can't you fuck the M&Ms anymore, dude?
God, because they're not fucking sexy enough.
Yeah, they're not wearing those boots.
Yeah. See, unmended, bound, restrained, allowed only to watch them, so free but not seeing they are free. Seeing that I watch, not seeing me at all. Oh, shit. I'm going to spill that. Each day my bindings tighten, constricting, forbidding, punishing for the smallest of sins. I sought to soar, but instead I fell, and still I fall further, lower, deeper to that place below all else. Let cold soil fill my throat and coat my eyes, so that I need watch no more.
That thing over there says Thea and her child.
Yeah.
Only child. Want to see a muscular female M&M? I bet Tucker Carlson would too.
A Dom M&M.
I'm a strong woman.
It's like She-Hulk about an M&M.
There you go. You got to be green.
Yeah, you'd think that would actually be a marketing campaign, to be
Randy
honest.
Savage. I love that episode of South Park so much.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm a strong woman.
Alright, this is like our last story bit. And then,
Is this all I get?
I end the stream maybe a little early today, because it's only got another half hour on our normal time.
Talk from Centaur World.
Yeah, we got to torture Corbin. I'll tell you what, I got, if you want as a palate cleanser, I got something weird I could show you.
To recover from Centaur World?
Yeah, actually.
You're going to need something.
Weird to recover from Centaur World. I feel like that's going to be...
I mean, there's good weird and bad weird,
Yeah.
and Centaur World is bad weird.
Yeah, no, Centaur World should be burned.
Hey man, you don't want to live in an ass?
No. Do you? A gnome ass. maybe,
Postmates thinks you do.
As long as he's been eating sushi.
Yeah.
So we're like in a pool of our dead selves?
I guess that's,
That's it?
yeah, that's it.
Well, that's how you tell me shit.
That's the afterlife.
I think what the story in this DLC did tell us is that Celine set a fire to her own house, which is the reason her mother was injured, and then she grew up to be the mom that was driving the car that got her kid killed.
Okay.
I think that's
that
basically
makes
what
the
it.
most sense.
I think that's what the DLC
So
did
it fits
clarify.
in with the weird Sisyphean stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pushing rocks up hills.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's about the regret of causing the death of your loved ones.
Yeah. So both the fire she started
Killed her mom.
killed.
Think
Well,
of Dear Esther.
Yeah.
well, the fire like severely injured her mother and caused her to be a paraplegic in the hospital the rest of her life, and then her daughter died in the car crash.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then, presumably, Celine also ended up being in the hospital with injuries post that car crash,
Right.
feeling how her mother felt after she put her mother in the hospital. I think that's my understanding.
And the little psychotherapy reports were about how generally gone she was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty bleak.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the bleakest game stories. Because it's just literally, the infinite nature of it is entirely just about psychosomatic trauma and it never ending. And well, there we go. Well, that's the stream. Well,
thanks for hanging out, everybody.
yeah. Afternoon tune. You're a real one. We're gonna end for the night and a little early, but hey, next week Resident Evil 2.
Fuck yeah.
All right, see you later.
Alright.